your boy PSA Sitch here with Friended
I hadn't even hit the
Forever.
button yet. What are you talking about?
Okay. You know what? I can't work under these conditions.
now we're live. 3, 2, 1.
Are you fucking serious? I want everyone to know. I had the best intro of all time,
It was great.
and Adam didn't press the fucking button.
Well, the thing is, every time I do the 3, 2, 1, the 3, 2, 1 gets in the stream because I think it starts recording ahead of time, and then you click the button, so there's like a 30-second load time there. So I was pausing to let that load time kind of go through, and then you started. So then I had to click the button.
So unprofessional. What am I going to do with you? This is why you deserve to be attacked by a guy with a ponytail.
I know.
In a video with your face on it.
I made the mistake of actually going into his comment section for a while, and I was like, it was not pretty. They were attacking me viciously. I need my victim points.
For those that don't know, Rationality Rules, who is a prime target for Think Club, decided to respond in kind and attack Adam and knock him off of his throne.
Yeah, you only watched 10 minutes of the video. I watched the whole thing. The intro, actually, I laughed so hard in the first second of this when the thing comes in. You can see it on the screen. I don't know why he gave me an afro. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand the afro thing. Well, I'm thinking they have this kind of, well, it's a little racist, but they call me a porch atheist, which is kind of racist.
Oh.
And I think that they might be making they might be playing the race card.
They're trying to make you look like
racist
buckwheat
card.
That's what you're saying.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I'm just playing around. I don't think they're racist at all, actually. I think they're quite the opposite of racist, so.
Right. Is he? He's not an SJW. Is he just anti-theist?
It depends upon how you define SJW. It's so difficult these days. Hey, let us know. We put this to. Sorry. First of all, sorry we're late. Let us know if there's any audio issues in the chat. And they're anti. I mean, they're LGBT activists. He mentions gay rights in just about every video. So.
Yeah, but I mean, lots of people are for gay rights,
Don't you think that's a major component to social justice warriors, though? I mean,
it depends what you mean by gay rights. As Jordan Peterson would say, it depends how you define that.
Yes, well, I'm obviously for gay marriage and all that stuff. I think of social justice, though, as being for rights of the oppressed. And I think that a big part of the reason why they're anti-theists is because they perceive religion as being anti-gay. So they're promoting a common enemy identity politics. They're saying religious people are the common enemy, conservatives are the common enemy, right? And I've talked before about common humanity identity politics, and common humanity identity politics is actually what got gay marriage passed, because people appealed to everyone should have a right to get married. That we're all human beings, right? That's common humanity identity politics. So
makes sense.
They're definitely. I mean, they're anti-theists. They say it right in the name, right? So they've picked out a target and they're going after that target. So, but there's obvious mistakes in this video. I noticed he spelled disciple right in this. I guess in the last thumbnail, the disciple was spelled wrong. Gabriel pointed it out, which is nice.
Well, if you spell something wrong on the internet, you automatically lose, right? Yeah. Isn't that the rule?
Yeah. No, I don't go for the spelling thing. So I've been. I just want to admit in the beginning of the stream that I've been feeling a little under the weather, but I didn't want to put this off. Like, we didn't do a stream last week, so so if I'm not in my peppy normal mood, you know why. So
I will have to make up with pep for the both of us.
Yes.
And you're just saying that because really what happened was this video was such a huge blow to your ego that you've just been down all morning.
I've been wondering how I'll recover all day.
Because it says you got destroyed.
One of the reasons why I decided to go through with it was because Someone had told me that Jordan Peterson was feeling deathly ill in that first Sam Harris Jordan Peterson podcast. And
Mhm.
I thought Jordan Peterson just killed it. And I thought, well, maybe I'll pull one of those, you know, beyond the grave Hail Marys. Like maybe I'll be great in this stream.
There you go. Being sick actually helps you in the intellectual facilities department.
Maybe. I'm not super interested in shaman, but I watched a Jordan Peterson video on shaman that I thought was super interesting. So, and
Like shaman, like the concept of shamans.
yeah, like the medicine man type
Okay.
thing. I didn't know that so shaman are basically the crazy guy in the village that goes out for, well, they can inherit it from a father or a family member or something like that. But they're usually the crazy one that goes out and does a bunch of drugs and actually lives. like,
Right.
and
And
they
they cast
know,
frost shock.
and they know from the fact that they live that they have some kind of healing inside of them,
Mhm.
which is funny.
I
Oh
like that
shit.
when I saw the thumbnail that he made, I immediately thought of Caffeine Tweaker.
Uh,
Got the little X on the sunglasses.
oh yeah, totally. I saw that also in a Basquiat painting, and I thought, wow, I wonder if it's
That
a
is what he's
reference.
referencing.
No, I doubt it. I don't. The
So,
chat froze again. I feel bad.
whatever, fuck him. Let's do it. Let's start this.
No, they like the chat. Are you kidding me? Why does it freeze like that?
They don't care about the chat.
Fucking
Chat, you don't care
bullshit.
about the chat, right, chat? See?
You
They don't
don't know.
care.
You don't know they care. Why it does that? Anyway, hopefully it fixes. Let's go. Now,
Being rich
hold on. Keep in mind, I'm going to be triggered all the way through this. So you're gonna have to be my logical eyes and ears. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, to the chat. You thought John Stossel triggered me. Okay, now you'll see what true triggering is.
Oh my God, I know. I feel bad now. I should have never done the John Stossel. This is like instant karma. Oh, it's so
by some prick using my
this is another thing that's difficult for me. I don't know why it's difficult for me to hear my voice in other people's videos, but it's fine for me to hear my voice in my own videos. Have you gotten a response video?
I got one from someone that had like 10 subscribers.
And was it
No,
okay?
I got two. I got one from someone with 10 subscribers on one of my gender dysphoria videos, and they completely missed the point. Then I got one from I forget his fucking name. Someone on my net neutrality video.
Hmm.
I don't know, some guy. But did you lose your audio?
No, I'm just trying to fix a chat.
Okay, but
it didn't fix.
and he completely didn't understand what the fuck I was talking about net neutrality, and like completely misread the law. And I was gonna do a response, and I was like, whatever, fuck it. So, but I can't stand hearing my voice. I can. It's weird. I can only stand hearing my voice when I'm editing. Like I never listen to these streams afterwards, and I never
Really?
listen to the videos once I upload them.
How do you get better arguments? I just stream with Amy. I think you were actually in the chat, and it was like everyone seems to hate that stream, but the views and comments are off the charts. So
Well, it was weird because I joined the stream for like a couple minutes when you linked it, and it was like it just started and it had 50 downvotes, and it just started. So I mean, obviously someone's trolling her or something.
oh yeah. The but that's the people in the comments always give me argument tips, which I find useful. So I have to I try to I try to read as many of the comments I read all the comments, but I try to read as many of the comments as I can before I re-listen to the stream, so I have those comments in mind. So I usually wait to re-listen to the stream until I've read some comments, but then people comment after the
obviously,
fact.
I'm just such a good natural argument debater that I don't need to listen to myself back again.
Well, you're better. You're better than me because some people in the comments always say, like, tell me I'm here for Sitch. I think
No, they don't say that.
I have had people tell me that before, and it's very offensive.
That's right, chat. Whatever you do, chat, don't say that you're here for me
But
and not Adam.
I survived. My views and subscribers have slowed down on Think Club, so I may not actually eclipse you, which is very. I mean, I had an inaugural thumbnail ready with Sitch with like the tears coming out of his eyes, like a waterfall of tears.
I can imagine you sitting in your chair. You're like all like leached over, like ready to pounce on me, like a predator, and then it just slows, and you're like, no.
I did, yeah. I was like that. Is it Phalanx made the video?
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, it's me. I'm gonna pass him. I'm so close. It's so true. It's so funny. People are $5. Kavanaugh did nothing wrong. I think it's
Cero Sapien for £5. Okay, yeah. I get it right.
You gonna read it or Kavanaugh? Okay. Kavanaugh did nothing wrong. You're probably against Kavanaugh. We're gonna.
Ford is just a tool for corrupt Dems. Both GOP and the Dems are to blame. Long live Emperor Trump.
Well, I like the long live Emperor Trump part. I like your moxie. What do you think of the Kavanaugh hearing?
Well, should we talk about that after or before? Because I assume that's going to be a longer topic.
Okay, we'll talk afterwards. Do it up. Let's see.
We can do it.
My name for clickbait in a state of bliss.
Mr. Rules here is a member of a group here on YouTube that, as I've said in previous videos, sees religion through this common anti-religious narrative popularized by famous anti-theists like Richard Dawkins.
You found like the perfect freeze frame for that, didn't you?
Well,
when you made this video.
I've gone a little crazy in the thumbnails. When I first did my first, well, no, I try to use first of all, in his thumbnails, he uses the Jordan Peterson crazy man look. Right. Yeah. So he knows what he's doing. I try to pick a middle of the road screen grab. So obviously I could put something super obnoxious in there, but I don't go for that. The Rachel Oates, I think, may have been the first response video that I did to this crowd. And Rachel Oates complained about the thumbnail, and I actually picked a thumbnail that I tried to make her look good. Like I tried to have some empathy for the whole thumbnail thing. So, but evidently, I mean, I've worked with actresses before, and you can really never get the headshot right with that.
I've worked with actresses before. I'm an important Hollywood producer. Yes.
No, I'm nobody. Are you kidding? Come on. I'm just saying from my experience, it's difficult to. That's normal though. I think normally people don't like the picture that you pick.
Yeah, it just was like, I don't like to hear my voice.
Do you think that's a bad screen grab?
No, I just think he's got like a kind of a funny face. I mean, it's not like super terrible.
Okay.
I was just I'm going to be giving you a lot of shit this stream. You're going to have to prepare it.
Do it. Bring it on. Sam Harris, Matt Dillahunty, they have a belief system that assumes religion is some kind of mind virus, some kind of parasite feeding off of society, turning what would be rational, scientifically minded people into inept, superstitious losers.
Adam Friended, otherwise known as Think Club and Friended Forever, is a content creator who once spent a fair amount of his time misrepresenting anti-theists, but these days does the same and adds dramatic clips and thumbnails of Jordan Peterson.
Did you think that was a misrepresentation of their position, though? It doesn't feel like it was.
I mean, obviously, I don't think that you misrepresent their position.
Right.
Most of the time.
So, I mean, hyperbole aside, it is a pretty their position is they believe the world would be a better place without religion. They're anti-religious, anti-theist is in the name. They are for a common enemy identity politics.
Well, we don't know exactly what he's referring to.
Well, he played the intro there.
I don't think he was referring to the opening clip.
Why did he play it then? He picked that clip out of all the. I mean, I have 3 hours of content on this guy. Why did he pick that clip?
Maybe he's just mad that you used the term mind virus.
This is you can't, these anti-theists, man, they bob and they weave. They're like, nah.
Right.
Their favorite sentence starts with, I don't know one single atheist that thinks this. And then whatever it is. So it's like,
they're just mad at you because you're the betrayer. You're the atheist that calls them all stupid.
I don't believe that I've called him stupid in the video.
Well, I meant in a nice way.
Read our other super chat. Thanks for the £5, brother.
Sorrow sapien again, £5. As a god botherer, I bless this stream in the name of the paddle toad and of the frog Pepe and the holy ribbit Akek.
Why, thank you for blessing the stream. Thank you, brother. Jesus loves you. May Peterson lay blessings on your household.
Though I will say, you can't criticize that thumbnail. That thumbnail is a work of art.
Oh,
I mean, look, that's amazing.
Are you kidding me?
Those lips. Oh, so good. So good.
Pragmatic Culture for $5. What's up, Pragmatic Culture? I've done a number of streams with Pragmatic Culture. So he is a religious person that I disagree with, and we've had many public disagreements, but we still get along. Both of you are part of the Peterson cult, therefore biased, therefore anti-theist right. Checkmate, tips Fedora. Exactly.
Pragmatic Culture, I don't know why you're watching the stream. You're supposed to be finding statistical evidence to back up your claim.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. No Fedora tips without hard evidence. We've got links in your description. Sitch is the best.
$2 from Matthew Ivy. Sitch is the best black Jew.
When Sitch does the face reveal, we might have a couple disappointed viewers.
Yes, I'm not. It's not right to call me black. I'm a person of shadow. Okay.
Nice.
Peterson, because Jordan sells and Adam doesn't. In fact,
hold on.
Which is by far.
Have I not said that in a stream already? Like, have I not said that in a stream already? Have I not? I seem to remember enunciating the words to you that nobody cares about me. I just want to get my name in as many Jordan Peterson videos as possible.
Yeah, but it's not. I think that was too far, too beyond the line. People care about you, Adam. I care about you.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not untrue though. It is not untrue.
I disagree. I'm going to defend your honor.
Well,
here.
I have 50,000 subs that care about me. Obviously.
There you go.
So
they care about the clips. They care about you.
Well, I have a. It's difficult because my channel started as a clip channel, so much of my it's hard to say how much is really me and how much is really Jordan Peterson. I know that my workload has tremendously increased since people want commentary in every video now, which is
well, there you go, proof
which is
that they care about.
So
his most popular channel is a Jordan Peterson safe space.
Okay, I'm gonna call it now. Everyone likes the greatest rapper of all time video.
Right.
Everyone likes it. It's too old. People need to stop using it. That meme is like fucking dead.
I used it in a video, I think, a year and a half ago. That was actually a response video to an atheist.
Oh, they're gonna say to him specifically.
No.
I think that meme has gone past the point that it can only be used ironically.
This other one is new though. I haven't seen this. Or maybe
it wasn't very. It's not very good though.
Good joke. Tell your face.
Now, I actually want to begin by saying, with all sincerity, two things. The first is that if any of you believe that any of my critiques of Jordan are unfair or erroneous, then please don't hesitate to let me and my audience know.
Unless you make goofy thumbnails like you do.
Yeah,
then don't let them know.
Then your sincerity is completely questioned. Your earnestness is not for real.
Right.
How do we get that?
Contrary to some of the comments.
How do we get that more videos off?
Oh, I don't think they can see it in the...
Well, I
yeah,
can
only
see
we
it.
see that.
I see it on our screen up there.
Yeah, but they don't see it. Okay.
Yes, they
Oh,
do.
you mean that thing. Whatever. No,
I don't want to mess. I don't want to mess up my side. You try to click on it and see if you can get it to go away.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Comments on Adam's videos.
Oh,
I have never
there.
deleted a single comment on my channel. Not once, ever. And secondly, know that this video isn't a response to Jordan, who, as I've said many times before, I respect. Nor is it a response to Jordan's fans, who, again, I respect.
Do you think that's true?
No, I don't, because I'm one of Jordan's fans and he totally disrespects me. So, I mean, I don't understand.
No, but I mean, like, I've only watched some of his videos. I watched the ones that, you respond to, and it doesn't seem like he respects Jordan Peterson.
He pays lip service to it. He said before that I respect Jordan Peterson, but he said in a video that I'm not fond of the man, which is like, okay, I get
So what does that mean?
Means he hates his guts.
Okay. Like respect in quotation marks. Huh? Okay.
I mean, he's
a response to
catering to
Adam.
people that want to hate Jordan Peterson. I mean, that's
Right.
yeah. And he is misrepresenting Jordan Peterson. I'm pointing it out. So
yeah, he's just so is kind of like, oh, I'm trying to create the air of objectivity here,
yeah,
even if it's fake.
Someone in my comment section pointed out today that the ad hominem fallacy is trying to discredit someone before addressing their arguments. And that's exactly what he does here. He's trying to discredit me as a troll. That's what he's saying. Which definition needed. What's a troll? And these are great too. Here, you got to pause on these.
I respect. Nor is it a response to Jordan's fans, who, again, I respect. It's a response to Adam Friended, who is a self-professed troll who's misleading legitimate Jordan Peterson fans.
I'm a self-professed troll. Now, one of those tweets is going to troll the chat in a minute. That's a retweet of Shannon's live stream to try to send Shannon some viewers. Like, I was trying to be like, obviously I'm joking with Shannon and sending viewers her way. The other one,
as I said earlier, you're like frenemies with Shannon. So it's not like she doesn't think like, oh, here comes Adam. He's going to like try to ruin my stream.
Shannon talks smack about me in other comment sections. I've seen it. It doesn't bother me. Every time I DM Shannon, she DMs me back. We've had many private conversations that, I mean, she's a sincere person. I believe she's an honest person. Everyone likes her. She's one of those people that just communicates with everyone. So the other one is me quoting a video of yours. What is that video of yours? I have the clip. It's a great clip. You're like, I would never make a drama video. Oh, wait a second. Of course I would. That's how you get the views.
Yeah, it was from the when Traversable MGTOW went after Bering.
Yep, that was
like 2 years ago or whatever the fuck that was.
I have the clip, and when I pull that little tweet out, I will play you reading the tweet. I saw the video when I was watching this, and I was immediately like, wow, this is really dishonest. Because he's not even saying he's saying it's not his opinion that you're a troll. He's saying you said you're a troll. Yeah, it is dishonest.
Which is completely false. And anyone that watches your videos, even if they disagree with you, it's very obvious that you're not like you're not ad hominem, you're not trolling the guy. You're saying, oh, here are the arguments.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because we ad hominem on this stream, but I mean, the definition that guy, and I wish that I remembered who it was in my comment section because it was so nice of him to point it out. He was saying that There's a difference between insulting someone while you're making your argument and just trying to discredit them because you don't have an argument. And this is what bugs me on so many people in the comment section. Like, they don't have an argument. They're just there to troll. They're there to just call you names
Right.
and stuff. So if you have an argument and you want to make an argument and, throw a little light, a little light insults in there as well, I'm all for it. But
Yeah, because I mean, like, even when we were like being goofy and talking about poofy hair or whatever, it's like that's like a tiny joke in an 4-hour stream of intellectual discourse.
yeah, this is, and I said that too in my comment section because I said that my ultimate goal is to entertain and inform. Because I mean, if you aren't doing both, no one's gonna pay attention to you. I actually went to DM him and I was like, oh, should I DM him? Should I not DM him? I'm kind of like, what do I do? Like, what's the right move here? Because it's to the point where they're just misrepresenting me. They've established a narrative that I'm a troll, and I've heard multiple people on their side say it. So for them, I'm a troll. I don't know that I'm ever going to beat that narrative. But when I went to DM him, I was like, holy shit, I have DMs here from March. And in March, I tried to set up a live stream with him, Cosmic Skeptic, and David Sloan Wilson, because David Sloan Wilson, the guy who wrote Darwin's Cathedral, the guy who's referenced in Jonathan Haidt's book, reached out to me after I did a video and asked if I wanted to interview him or do a live stream or whatever. So I was like, well, I'm nobody. I've got, 5,000 subs. If I could get a larger YouTuber interested, maybe some more people would see it. And these guys would hear a legitimate scientist who's got oppositional arguments and research to their claims, but they completely ignored me. So
they didn't respond?
They didn't respond. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, now that I have 50,000 subs, I'm a troll now. It's like,
yeah. Also, I've noticed a lot that, like, if you take a position that people just can't fathom, they assume you're a troll. So they say, oh, he claims to be an atheist, but spends all this time ragging anti-theists. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
He must be some kind of troll.
What is your definition of troll? Because I'm like, when I said I'm going to troll the chat, I meant, obviously I'm going to crack some jokes and like we're all gonna have fun. Right. I wasn't saying like I'm going, like, first of all, I didn't even really, I went to that chat and just said hi to everyone and left in 5 minutes. I was like, the reason I really did that retweet was to send some people to Godless Cranium. And I mean, we have overlapping audience, so.
Right.
Phalanx for $2 says, no big super chat for you. You need Streamlabs. Oh, we're working up to Streamlabs. We're work in progress here.
It's okay. You can draw us a picture of a larger super chat.
Yeah, I feel bad you sending us any money at all. You guys draw so many pictures for us. You and Caffeinated Tweaker, I don't want to see any more super chats from either of you guys.
We should pay you.
Yeah, exactly. How do I super chat back? Where's the refund switch? So that's the story on those two tweets. And thank you for pointing out that he's being completely dishonest here.
I was going to leave a comment on the video saying that.
In all honesty, I don't think he really even knows. I mean, go ahead.
You kind of have to. I don't know. Like, we always have these conversations. And it's weird because I'm usually the one that's like, oh, I always assume people are just stupid, not malicious. And you're the one that always assumes people are malicious and not stupid.
No, bullshit. I'm the one that says, I say Hanlon's razor all the time. I'm the one that knows the name of that.
Okay, that's true. You do know the name of that. So, but you do take the intentional side a lot more than I do. But with this, it's hard for me to wave this off as just ignorance because he had to go look for these tweets.
Yeah, but
like, how did he?
He did a tweet search for troll. That's all he did.
Yeah, but so he has one that has troll, and the other one doesn't even have the word troll in it.
You're right, it doesn't.
Like, and how did he even what would? And that's an old one. Like, why? Like, how would you even find that?
Both those are pretty recent.
Unless he looked for no. The other one's from like March, isn't it?
Those are in the same tweet stream. They have the same tweet, the same people in them. That's
okay,
from Godless Cranium's. I mean, I'm just trying to be honest here.
I'm gonna look it up. You call me out here. I gotta look
No,
it up.
those are no. He didn't do any heavy research, man. Seriously, those things. That's 5 seconds of research. That's one of the reasons.
From at friend.
Michael Morris for £5 says Bongo Cat is a axiomatic. Do you know about axiomatic odds? Because I think it's pretty hilarious. First of all, I'm not a philosophy person. Okay, I didn't know about axiomatic odds until Cosmic Skeptic taught me about them. Mm-hmm. So, but once Cosmic Skeptic, I went to that morality video of his, and I was like, okay, he's taking it from a completely philosophical point of view. So I don't really have the background to be able to pick apart the philosophy because I haven't studied philosophy in depth. I mean, I took maybe 2 philosophy courses in college, and so I'm definitely a keyboard warrior on philosophy. And some Cosmic Skeptic went in and was like not having it because Cosmic Skeptic evidently knows the philosophy. But as soon as Cosmic Skeptic explained it to me, I was like, bang. Like I know exactly what he's doing here now.
So I looked it up, and the tweet on the left is from April 3rd.
Okay.
And the
so
tweet on the right
back
is from,
a ways.
Yeah, and the tweet on the right is from September 22nd.
That's recent.
So that's the recent one. So unless for some reason he decided to look up whenever you and Shannon interacted, I don't know, like,
well, Shannon could be like double agent for all I know, man. Shannon could be feeding him this shit. I'm serious. Reed Nicewonder, who is the nicest guy in the world. We hung out with him at VidCon. We had beers with him. He's been on streams with us. He went on I first or second stream against Hugo and Jake. He was in Rationality Rules comment section talking about what a great video it was. And I was like, Et tu, Brutus? I mean, Jesus.
I gotta find this. I gotta find this comment. I saw Shannon was in the chat earlier. She's still here. Tell us, Shannon, are you really a secret double agent?
Well, send Shannon a link. I mean, if Shannon wants to come on, she's more than happy. I invited Reed on as well because I got nothing to hide, man. I'm not a troll. I don't.
Yeah, it is ridiculous to start the video off that way.
I go on camera. How many trolls go on camera, for heaven's sakes? Jeez.
Or talk about Jonathan Haidt to the extent that he did.
Well, we're going to get into that because he makes a huge mistake in the video here. He makes a huge mistake.
What's Reed's YouTube name again? Rationality, Cordial.
Cordial Curiosity. No, he's in the comment section as Reed Nicewonder.
Oh, I was like, I can't find his.
He just said name. Great video. I mean, it wasn't. I was just like, dude.
Oh, okay.
He could be just fucking. I was like, oh, let me get this knife out. Let me grab this. Holy shit! I can't reach it.
So you're saying I should have commented, great video?
No, do it, man. You should. Well, if you did it though, I would be like, okay, well, obviously he's trolling me.
Right.
He's a self-described troll.
Yeah. That's what really bothers me. Again, I said it earlier. It's just he's not saying he thinks you're a troll. He's saying you said you're a troll, which is a complete lie.
Yes, I'm not.
But anyway, $2 Canadian dollars from Caffeine Tweaker. Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah. Do not send us another super chat.
Stop sending us money, please.
McCarthy's List, 125 PHP, fallacy, you're wrong. I'll let you read. I'm too triggered to read.
Fallacy, you're wrong because you're an idiot. Attack, you're wrong and you're an idiot. Attack, you're wrong and you're an idiot. The difference is why you're supposedly wrong.
Yes.
I'm confused. What is that? What is he saying?
I think he's saying the ad hominem attack is
yeah, it's when you attack someone based on their character.
Yeah, you discredit their character, so you say, which is the classic attack against Jordan Peterson. It makes sense. But all of my attacks, this is what is unfathomable to me, because in this video, he takes on my hyperbole, but he doesn't really take on my argument. I guess he does at the end, but I haven't really figured out. He's using like this in the beginning. He makes a mistake, but it's not really a mistake because he's using philosophical terms and I'm using the terms in moral psychology. So, but he doesn't know that.
Of course not. 2 Aussie bucks from Felix again. God, wow! At Caffeinated Fiends, you rebel.
Oh my God,
Guys, just giving us so much money.
whatever you guys do, do not start a bidding war between you.
And Popog for $5. Ad hominem is X is wrong because insult, which isn't the same as X is wrong because reasons also insult.
Yeah.
I guess people are taking issue because you said ad hominem is like when you're like criticizing the person before
Yes,
you get to the
right
argument.
here. He's
Right.
trying to say that this guy doesn't have an argument because he's a troll. That's what he's doing. He's doing
Right.
an ad hominem right now. He's
Exactly.
saying you should not pay attention to this guy because he's just a troll. And then I'm only responding to him because my fans want me to respond. So come on,
That's
let's
what they
get into
always
some
say.
arguments.
That's what they always say. Oh, I didn't want to respond, but my fans, I just got so many comments. Oh, they got like 3 people telling them to respond.
I have 2 million more views than this guy. So just have
Oh,
it's
Big Dick
views.
Adam just
It's
threw the
views.
views out. Oh.
It's views that count, right? This is why I didn't want to go here. I really didn't want to go here.
You made me come to this place.
Why? It's
Now, as of this day, Adam's made 3 videos in which he's destroyed.
hold on. Let's
a
enjoy those
so-called
thumbnails
Jordan
for a second. Those thumbnails are
Those are
good.
pretty good thumbnails.
The ear. Look at the ears. Look at the fingers in the ears. That's priceless.
So wait, for that one, did you just put his head on a body that was already doing that?
Hell
Great.
yeah.
Okay. It looks good. See, I think everyone can agree. Your thumbnail of him crying is a lot better than the one with the aiming reticle on it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The aiming reticle makes you look cool. You're like, oh,
That's what I thought. I was like, holy shit, I look great. I'm sending him a thank you card.
Felix, stop giving us money. Stop it.
Bidding war capped at 2 Aussie dollars. Yeah, that's awesome.
We accept your drawings as a form of currency. That's enough. Okay. All these other moochers in the chat that don't give us amazing drawings,
Yeah,
they
go
can send us
away.
money. Exactly.
Peterson hater, and a fair few of you have asked me to respond. Well, you asketh, and now you receiveth. This is
Hey,
a Jordan
wait.
Peterson disciple.
I do like the way he does Destroyed. I do like that.
Okay. You can pause it. You don't have to tell me to pause it.
Oh, I
Right.
know.
Okay. I'm just saying.
But
I don't know if you forgot how this works.
Destroyed.
It's so cool. It is cool. The fact that he has that tattooed on his arm, though, is not cool. And he will
Wait,
grow
he
to
has his
regret that.
logo?
Yes, he will grow to regret that.
Oh.
So let's get straight into the thick of it by
Could you imagine if I tattooed my guy's face
I would
onto my body somewhere?
first of all, I would revel in it. Like, I would be like, you dummy. And then I would feel bad for you.
I mean, at least with his, it's like it's ambiguous enough that people will be like, "Oh, he just has some weird
exactly.
thing on his arm."
It's not too bad.
Right. But it's still kind of whatever. I don't know. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe his channel brought him out of a dark time of suicidal depression,
Yeah.
and the symbol reminds him to be strong.
I went and looked at his videos, and he has 8 response videos to Jordan Peterson. So, and the only reason I made response videos to him was because all of his response videos to Jordan Peterson just misrepresent Jordan Peterson. So, and you can't get views if you don't do clickbait. So I just, like, a lot of people come in my comment section. They're like, I can't stand this clickbait. And I'm like, dude, you're here. That's evidence that you can stand this clickbait because here you are. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm an evidence
it's
guy.
true. It's true.
Oh my God.
watching
We
the
did-
intro to
we-
Adam's most recent response to me, in which he
What?
We started a bidding war. It's
Yeah.
going to go 1 penny at a time.
Oh my god.
$2.01 California money. Dabs on phalanx. That's right. A dab will do it.
He accuses me of post hoc reasoning.
The only thing that's wrong with religion is the dogmatism.
You know, there's this great quote from Steven Weinberg, that being, with or without religion, you would have good people doing good things and bad people doing bad things. But if you want a good person to do a bad thing, that takes religion.
Hey everybody, I'm Adam, and this is Think Club. I very much despise post hoc reasoning. Post hoc reasoning is when you believe something, say that the world would be a better place without religion, and then you proceed to evaluate all evidence in a manner of, does it prove this thing that I want to believe, or does it disprove this thing I want to believe? And then you summarily dismiss everything that disproves the thing that you so badly want to believe, and you elevate the evidence that proves this thing, or you, even worse yet, you look at evidence that could possibly disprove what you want to believe, but you twist that evidence around so it completely proves what you want to believe.
Now, Adam gets to his actual criticism in just a second, but I already need to correct him. What he just described is not post hoc reasoning, it's confirmation bias. Post hoc reasoning is actually a form of false cause fallacy, and it occurs when someone erroneously assumes that because one event happened after another, the first event was the cause of the second.
See, okay, that's not actually true. Post hoc reasoning is when you don't actually have evidence for the post hoc fallacy claim is when you don't actually have evidence for something, and you just make evidence up.
Well, I think you're wrong to describe it as post hoc reasoning, the way that you described it.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, because at least the way that I understood post hoc reasoning, it's where you're saying you don't have evidence, but it's because you're saying, oh, because the car outside drove by, that's why the doorbell rang 10 seconds later.
Right. You don't have evidence for the claim that you're making, so you just grab evidence.
Right, but you're referring to a specific event that just happened.
Right. So it's causal related. I mean, I looked it up, and obviously he's right here, but I believe that there's another. Well,
the way you said that,
there's more than one definition, right? Because I also looked up.
But I do think in
social intuitionism, I looked up social intuitionism, and
right.
I mean, I know it's terrible to actually cite Jonathan Haidt because somehow that's unthinkable. But so in the idea of social intuitionism, the idea behind post hoc reasoning is that they're making up reasons because they don't actually know the reason that they dislike something. I mean, I'm
but it has to be based on a specific previous event. Because making up reasons is just like all fallacies are just making up reasons, right? And then the specific fallacy is how you make up the reason.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like that's the way it seems, right? Like I think with the quote that he was talking about, that you were talking about, I think there is some post hoc reasoning going on in terms of, the world's better now, and more people are atheists now, and maybe it's because of religion, whatever.
But Jonathan Haidt uses post hoc reasoning only in the context of moral reasoning. Like I'm talking in the context of moral reasoning.
So he uses it differently, you're saying?
Well, he doesn't. I'm saying that the post hoc reason, he doesn't know why he hates religion, and that's the key. So he's making up reasons to hate religion because he doesn't necessarily know why he hates religion. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right, but I do think in your video when you describe post hoc reasoning, it didn't sound to me. It sounded to me like you were describing confirmation bias and motivated reasoning.
Right.
Not what I would describe as post hoc.
Okay. Jonathan Haidt calls it post hoc reasoning, and I looked up at the social intuitionist model, and it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely it's post hoc reasoning in there as well. And the reason that it's post hoc reasoning is because in a confirmation bias situation, you might actually know why you feel the way that you do. But since you're dealing with the unconscious mind, you don't necessarily know why you have like someone gets a disgust feeling for something, and they don't necessarily relate
Right.
that it's blamed
Okay,
on the disgust
I
feeling.
figured out what the problem is.
Uh-huh.
I figured out what's okay. Jonathan Haidt's talking about post hoc rationalization.
Yeah.
So I guess
Yes,
it's a different term.
he calls it post hoc reasoning.
Okay.
I call it post hoc reasoning. So there
I
is
understand.
a
Okay.
so
Okay.
there is
You're not wrong. I take it
Yeah.
back.
I'm not saying it's a post hoc fallacy. And the confirmation, I mean,
Right.
confirmation bias is like if you have, I mean, they're definitely related, but you can have, like I did a video on this. I did a video with Rachel Oates, and I said Rachel Oates doesn't rationally know why she doesn't like Jordan Peterson. So she's just pulling arguments out because she doesn't know. She's got to make some up.
Right. So I'll say that I don't fault him for not knowing.
Yeah, me neither. Are you kidding?
Yeah, because that's definitely not the more mainstream version of it.
Well,
But I do see articles where people are talking about Jonathan Haidt, and they are using post hoc reasoning and post hoc rationalization the way that you're talking about.
Yes, and I want to make a video on it just to make it clear which is which, and I think it's actually interesting that in the moral intuitions are not conscious intuitions. So, and this guy in his videos, like in the clip that I pulled from his video, he says in the video, and I didn't include it in my video response, but he gives the reason why he doesn't like religious people. He thinks that religion turns him into gay haters.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean that reasoning is very divorced from his.
So I guess that's always the difference that we look at it, because it's like, okay, religion didn't make people hate gays. People hated gays, and then they baked it into the religion.
Yes, that's called post hoc reasoning.
So,
how is that confirmation bias? Because I have a disgust, like people hate gays because they find it disgusting.
Well, that's not confirmation bias.
They're not confirming their disgust. They're not looking for evidence of why gays make them disgusted.
Right. No, but I was talking about in terms of when you were, the clip he played of you where you're saying that you believe something and then you look for evidence of it. And that's confirmation bias.
Right.
But if, when it comes to people establishing religions, they're not looking for evidence of anything. They're establishing a religion.
Right.
So.
But he has a belief that is related to a moral intuition.
Right.
Because he's using moral psychology. So he has a moral intuition that religion is bad. And then he says, the world would be a better place without religion. That is probably conscious. But the moral intuition, though, may be unconscious. So when he's looking for reasons, I guess he is looking for reasons to confirm the bias. What I'm saying is the intuition is what is unconscious. And you can't, you don't look for reasons to confirm the intuition if you don't know what is consciously causing the intuition. I don't even know if anything is consciously causing the intuition. I mean, why is that disgust feeling there?
Probably not, because I think it's safe to say that almost all your emotions are based off of instantaneous reactions that you don't really have control over.
Maybe
is that fair to say?
Maybe he was molested by a priest or something. I feel kind of bad now.
Nah, maybe, and that's why he was, and then he used the symbol of his channel to break the bounds of that traumatic memory, and that's why he tattooed it on his arm. And we're terrible people for making fun of him because of it.
I know.
Oh my
God. McCarthy's List gave us a super chat. I don't know what PHPs are. McCarthy's List is in my comment section all the
Philippines,
time.
isn't it? Didn't we talk about this?
Yeah. He's a smart guy. What's up, Craig? Craig's in the chat too. Poisoning
PHP
the well.
is Philippine peso.
How many tabs you got open over there? It's taking you a long time to get to that super chat.
I was looking up what it was. McCarthy's List for 125 Philippine pesos. Poisoning the well is when you discredit a person before the argument is made, and an ad hom is the attack the person after the argumentation
really?
study.
Okay? Wow. These people know.
So, there you go. See, you're wrong about ad hoc. You're wrong about ad hom. You don't know anything. Get out of here. You're a phony. Sheep lavender for $2.02. Is this guy the young Thunderfoot? He does look a little bit like a young Thunderfoot.
Thunderfoot. Did you see Thunderfoot retweeted genetically modified fedora tippers video? I was like, oh my God.
I don't follow him anymore.
Yeah, I don't follow him anymore either. I retweeted that. I'm like, Thunderfoot is dead to me. And and Jenny Kiss, who got in a bunch of trouble for making jokes about Thunderfoot's father dying, was like, don't make jokes about death around Thunderfoot.
Oh my God.
And I was like, that's so wrong, but hilarious.
You know, it's really weird. She was like one of the first people to follow me on YouTube.
Really? Yeah, me too.
Even though she's like totally not in our corner of the ideological spectrum.
People change, and I like to give them the benefit of the doubt. So, and I wasn't around for any of that stuff. I know my friend Ajar, I think, has bad blood with her. So, I mean, out of respect for Ajar, I don't interact with her, but I don't,
wasn't she the one that spread the rumor that Armored Skeptic started going out with Shu when she was underage?
I think so, yeah.
So, I think she's got a lot of bad blood with a lot of people.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, anyway, the verdict is...
Do you think people can turn over a new leaf and change? I mean, I think...
Sure, I do.
Yeah.
I just think it's very rare.
It is rare, but that's why you should embrace it when it actually happens. It's
right. We're all about forgiveness here on the channel.
Yeah. We'll let you come forward and meet Jesus at the end of this live stream.
Okay, so the end verdict for this first part is, or the second part, I guess I should say, is that...
Yeah, how do I tear this guy up? Give me some argument strategies.
Is that he didn't know what you were referring to, because you're talking about moral psychology, Jonathan Haidt stuff.
Correct.
And they use the term a little bit differently.
Yes, yeah. Okay. But he's going to hate that anyway. He's going to say, oh, changing definitions again. There's only one definition for everything.
Right. Well, I mean, I agree that it's more helpful when there's one definition, but it's not like you're not doing it on purpose. That's just how you know.
But his point of doing this is to say that I'm so stupid I don't even know the difference between confirmation bias and post hoc fallacy.
Right, but I'm assuming he didn't know that
he's never heard the social intuition as well. Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
This is a side note, of course, but it's absolutely worth correcting. Anyhow,
thank you.
Here's Adam's criticism.
Was that little guy from his video, or did you add that?
No, he put that stuff in, but that guy there is a theoretical physicist, which I love it when they're taking social psychology gospel from a theoretical physicist. I always feel like,
Yeah, it is kind of weird, but it makes sense. I mean, most of the anti-theist and atheist crowd are very pro-science, so
yeah,
science killed God.
Now, I have a clip here from Rationality Rules' latest video where he is evaluating the first debate between Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris in Vancouver. And he throws out this bumper sticker, this anti-theist bumper sticker, as if he's adding some deep philosophical understanding to the argument that Sam Harris is making, when all he is doing is post hoc reasoning his way to the conclusion that he wants to reach. That religion is terrible. That religion turns people into monsters. And without religion, people would just be great. They would be totally amazing people.
Did you catch that? You know, the abysmal straw man.
You know, the quote that he had at the bottom of the screen.
Uh-huh.
Or let's back it up. So wait. Okay, the quote at the bottom of the screen, like it's so stupid. Because like, okay, so were the Nazis super religious? Of course not. You know, to say that it takes religion to make a good person do a bad thing is a complete denial of human nature in the first place and why people do quote unquote bad things.
Yeah, they do bad things because they're greedy bastards.
Right, because it serves them in some way.
Yeah. Religion is designed to make bad people into good people. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, like obviously, like all institutions, religions become corrupt or are corrupted when they are created and are used often to leverage, you know, people in power to control other people and to do all this other stuff. I mean, you just look at European history and it's like, you know, the popes and doing all this crazy shit with the politics and all the various kingdoms. But it's so dumb to say that last sentence is so stupid to me because it just really shows you just don't understand human nature.
Yeah, that's what triggered me about it. That's why I made the video. I was like, this is atheist dogma that just has to die. It's so stupid. And then he's saying that, so obviously I took it to the next level with the hyperbole, but he's saying, okay, like his argument is, okay, we know if we got rid of religion, bad people would still do bad things. It's right there in the title. And my question is, then why the fuck you bring it up, dude? Like, what is the point of bringing this up? Like, I know the argument in the quote. The argument is religion makes people do bad things. That's the argument, is it not? So,
right, well,
so your argument is that if we get rid of religion, those bad things that religion made them do would no longer happen. There would be less bad things, right? You want to talk numbers? Like how many less bad things? Like how many less bad things until we all have unicorns?
Well, I want to listen to exactly what you said again to make sure what he's referring to.
No, we're beating him up. First debate between Jordan Peterson.
What he just described is not post hoc reasoning, it's confirmation bias. Post hoc reasoning is actually a form of false cause fallacy, and it occurs when someone erroneously assumes that because one event happened after another, the first event was the cause of the second. This is a side note, of course, but it's absolutely worth correcting. Anyhow, here's Adam
from Rationality Rules' latest video where he is evaluating the first debate between Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris in Vancouver. And he throws out this bumper sticker, this anti-theist bumper sticker, as if he's adding some deep philosophical understanding to the argument that Sam Harris is making, when all he is doing is post hoc reasoning his way to the conclusion that he wants to reach. That religion is terrible. That religion turns people into monsters. And without religion, people would just be great. They would be totally amazing people.
Okay, so he's gonna attack you on the oh, people would be great without religion comment. That's how he's gonna get you.
Do I? But am I way out of line there? I mean, isn't that the argument that he's making?
I think that,
he's saying the good people would not be bad if they didn't have the religion. They would be good people, right?
Well, he's saying specifically that religion makes good people do bad things, but that there would still be bad people.
Correct, but he's also saying that the good people would be great. They would be wonderful people. They wouldn't be bad anymore.
Right. I think it's a quibbling over.
Oh, we're in major quibble territory here.
Yeah, I think he's quibbling over like you just being like I don't know what the word is, but just like being slightly over exaggerating for the effect of a video because you're like being high energy,
Totally.
in that clip.
I learned that from
So
you.
I don't think like a real point. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to listen to the rest of your video. Like, is that a point that you really focus on?
Look for his argument. Look for his argument rebutting my actual argument and not just the quibble.
No, but I mean, in the video that he's referencing, the video that he took that clip from with you, like, do you keep coming back to this point that anti-theists think everyone would be wonderful if it wasn't for religion?
I don't remember. Come on, sometimes I get on a roll, dude. I'm a comedian first. I am a comedy writer.
Oh,
first.
you're Dave Rubin. Is that what's happening here?
Well, Dave Rubin with a brain. Come on, give me some credit.
Oh, we're gonna be nice to Dave Rubin.
Ba-boom,
I
ba-boom,
thought that
ba-boom.
we're turning over a new leaf.
I love you, Dave
Right.
Rubin.
I told everyone on the stream what happened, right? When I saw Dave Rubin.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Okay, just making sure. Felix, for 2 Aussies. This one's to shill for my channel. Chat, get here. That's right. Felix does have a channel, and he makes very awesome videos with his little animations that he draws.
Yeah, Felix.
So everyone
should
subscribe to his channel.
Yes, definitely. Pragmatic Culture for $5 says you got to remind this guy of the fallacy, which is just because an argument is structured like a fallacy doesn't mean it's wrong. That's a good one.
Right. And I don't even think your argument is structured like a fallacy.
No, I think my argument is right on the money. That's why it stung. That's why it's like, oh, he's attacking the atheist dogma. I must respond. This guy doesn't even know the difference between confirmation bias and an ad hoc fallacy.
Did you catch that? You know, the abysmal straw man of me. I thought you would, and you're not alone. Many people have, such as Bridges on Bikes, who wrote, "You strawman RR right off the bat so poorly that your strawman
Without religion, people would just be great. They would be totally amazing people."
is literally refuted in the first sentence of the quote you displayed.
I've noticed this happens so often in the YouTube section of the world because, when you start making YouTube videos, you always have that idea of like, okay, I need to present this information in some kind of compelling way. So like a lot of times you change words around or make things sound a little bit more bombastic.
You
and then when
use a
someone responds
script?
to you-
I never use a script. Are you kidding me?
Oh, really? Do you
Change
just wing
words
it?
around. I just go, come on. I have like a bullet list.
Well, for those of us who aren't so, I guess, pithy off the top of our heads like you and have to write down our compelling thoughts. Though, of course, I have to write it down because I have to animate a little picture for it. But anyway, I do find this happens all the time where someone's being like, bombastic in a video, and then someone responds to that and they're like, oh, this is proof that this person's like full of shit because they said something that's like exaggerated. Therefore, that's what they really believe, 24/7% of the time.
Yeah. Hyperbole is what it is.
Indeed, there's a reason that Weinberg said with or without Adam. It's not like he was, or I am for that matter, so naive as to think that
Without religion, people would just be great. They would be totally amazing people.
Now, funny enough, I actually anticipated someone misrepresenting me. Call it clairvoyance. And so I deliberately included additional words. Words that, interestingly, Adam left out. There's this great quote from Steven Weinberg, that being, with or without religion, you would have good people doing good things and bad people doing bad things. But if you want a good person to do a bad thing, that takes religion. And I think that's pretty much what Sam was conveying.
Has he not seen the Saw movies? I gotta know. I really gotta know.
What about the communist, Adam?
Yeah, I mean,
What about the
seriously,
communist?
I don't remember the Saw movies having a lot of religion involved in them, and it seems like that guy was getting people to do bad things, or like right and left. He found this way around using religion to get people to do bad things.
Oh, okay. Well, we can use an example that he'll like, which is what was the psychology experiment where they had the person tell you to shock the
Totally. The Milgram experiments.
right. I mean, that has nothing to
Yeah.
do with religion. It has to do with authority.
It has to do with authority. Exactly. But he would say, post hoc reasoning, he would say. He would say, "Oh, but the religion is authoritative, and if we get rid of the religion, then none of us will have any idea about how authority works anymore."
That's like idiotic. I mean,
I
like,
know,
yeah,
it's
definitely.
totally idiotic.
Yeah, like religion is structured as a a structure of authority, but to think that if we got rid of religion, there wouldn't be other structures of authority that are just as corrupt and corrosive is completely naive.
Or with the ability to tilt towards corruption, because the idea behind religion is you put people in authority that use their authority to tell people to do good things, right?
I mean, maybe.
I mean,
Depends on what religion you're talking about.
your preacher, your rabbi. I mean, do you go into them and they say, "Oh yeah, I think it's time to start cheating on your wife"?
Right, right.
Like, I don't understand.
Well,
It
saying
seems
good
like
things. It's like good according to their view of what good is, which often doesn't, coincide with secular view of good.
but
I
sometimes
mean, I
they
think
do.
yes, yeah, it does. It often
Are you
does.
saying that religion makes people do bad things? It really
I'm saying that religion can make people do bad things.
it can, definitely. Yeah.
I think the part
Has
of the
that
problem is,
capacity.
yeah, exactly. And part of the problem is that I feel like whenever these people are talking about religion, they're referring to like religion in the past. And when you're talking about religion, you're talking more about like religion right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. That would be the
I mean,
post hoc reasoning fallacy.
I mean, yeah, because
Thinking religion was bad before, and now.
I always had this quibble with Sam Harris because he says if it wasn't for fundamentalist Islam, that the Middle East would be like a far better place. And I feel like I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, me neither.
Because the way, at least that I view it, is that religion isn't what creates the problem. It's just the lens that focuses where the problem or how the problem manifests itself.
Yeah, material circumstances play half of that game.
That's my point. Because if you look at like Mexico right now with all the drug cartels, or in the South American countries that have the drug problems or the communist problems, it's like if those countries, if the Central and South America were Islamic countries, then yeah, there's a good chance that the violence that's occurring in those countries would affect us directly or more directly. But since they're not, they're all internal. They're affecting themselves.
Yeah.
But it's still violence occurring.
Yeah, no, he talks about this in that book Identity. I actually looked it up because he does a great job of outlining, and I can't remember the two philosophers that he talks about. I think maybe Rousseau is one of them, but he says I think it's Max Weber that argues for the primacy of ideas, and Karl Marx argues for the primacy of material conditions, but really it's both. He says that the material conditions make up a huge part of your outlook on life, but ideas have the power to focus the way that you assess those material conditions, which makes sense because, I mean, Christianity is all about making a bad situation better. Like, this is why the slaves took to Christianity so much, because it was a story of oppressed people overcoming their oppression. So
You sound like such a troll when you like reference people in
I
like
know.
terms.
Max Weber. I know exactly.
It's funny.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It's funny because, at least from what I was taught in high school, maybe it's just my horrible, religiously indoctrinated, American education, but apparently a lot of people think that the first colonies in America only survived because of their religious faith, because it was so shitty for the first pilgrims and stuff. When they first came here.
Protestant work ethic. He talks about
and
that in the book Why Nations Fail. It's great.
Oh, okay.
Theodore McCarthy, $5. No, the point of religion is that it creates extended kin groups, which leads to pro-social behavior. Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point, yeah. But the problem with that is that most of the religions, they also have to focus on an outgroup, which is an enemy.
No, but Christianity gets around that. One of the reasons why I think Christianity is
Does it? Does it really?
Yeah. The the good story of the Good Samaritan is like the Samaritan is the outsider. Like Samaritans were supposedly hated.
Right. Yeah, but see, that's always the problem. See, that's always the problem is that it's like there could be so much good things in the text themselves, and then it's just all corrupted by people or interpreted in whatever way suits whoever's in power at the time.
Yeah.
So then you say,
That's
well,
the
is
fun
it
part.
right? But so then you say, is it the fault of the religion itself, or is it just the fault of that's just human nature?
I think it's the problem with human nature.
Right.
But there is, I mean, this is why it's just such a crapshoot if you just pulled the cord on religion and just uprooted it. They have this real feeling that everything would just be better, and I don't know that it would. You can't, how it's such a complex system.
Right. It's hard. I don't know. It's hard to see. It's hard to tell whether things would be better or worse. I mean, there's so much like bad shit that's going on and like right now in the name of religion, specifically Islam, but there is a lot of good stuff, especially at least in this country, like a lot of charities and things that Christian people do. And I'm skeptical that they would do those things without their faith.
Yeah, me too.
Same thing with Mormons. They wouldn't be so nice if it wasn't for their goofy religion.
Yeah. Religion was designed by evolution. I know that's a little nitpick that they have. Evolution doesn't design anything. Evolution is blind. Okay, I know that.
Well, it's not. Yeah, they say that's not true. It's not blind.
Anyway, they evolution designed quotes religion to make people selfless cooperators because the group is more powerful than the individual.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mason Royce for 3 Aussie bucks. Talk to Rationality Rules. I suspect you're talking past each other.
Yeah, I don't know that he would talk to me because he's already labeled me a troll. It would be difficult for him to do that. Don't you think? I mean, what's your take on that? That's why.
I mean, I think you should try to. It would be good for your channel.
I don't know. Seriously, he's not a. Jordan Peterson is what's good for the channel. Okay, Rationality Rules is not good for the channel. Like I'm considering not even really responding to this because it's really not worth. Like,
you think people on your Think Club channel wouldn't want to see a drama debate?
Some people do. Some people definitely do, but it's definitely a minority. It is definitely a minority. Other people would just rather like me to dive into the argument. Like, as much time as I spend responding to him, they would rather me spend that time responding to Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson. Because I am legitimately illuminating. The reason that I did the last video that I did 2 Rationality Rules, because I was illuminating the whole idea of the Darwinian frame. It was just a perfect opportunity to explain that Darwinian frame and how. I mean, I don't know if you're not interested by the truth argument as much as I am.
No.
But I think if you can relate all moral statements back to the Darwinian frame, I think that's fascinating. I really do. That is where evolutionary psychology is going. People are going to start doing the math on that stuff. People are going to answer the question that I'm always posing, the one that does religion do more? I always say, like, a rational argument for does religion do more harm than good is a cost-benefit analysis, finding some system to add up. Because, I use the car. They hate the car analogy, but I use it all the time, right? Car accidents kill people. They kill people every day. I think it's up to like 60,000 people a year are killed in car accidents. We're not talking about getting rid of cars. But the, woman drives safely to work doesn't make the news. The car accidents are what make the news. So you got to add up all those little tiny good things. And that's really where the massive part is.
Yeah, the benefit of car travel outweighs the cost of it.
Right, but that's just intuitively assumed.
Right. Well, see, that's kind of my problem. That's my big problem with the anti-theist position is that, like, how could you tell if the world would be better without religion?
Yeah,
Because
me
as you
too.
said, you need to have a cost benefit analysis.
And not only that, they do this Mott and Bailey thing where they make this outrageous claim that the world would be a better place without religion, which is a claim. And then when you confront them on this claim, they say, no, religion is not a claim. It's just your claims don't meet the burden of proof. There is no God. That's all it is. It's this belief that we don't think there is a God. Religion turns good people into bad people.
Right.
It's like, what? Like, you're literally quoting this guy saying religion turns good people into bad people. Where's your evidence? What's your argument?
Well, I guess that's the difference between atheist and anti-theist. So
Yeah, and thank God well, thank goodness. Sorry.
my God.
Thank goodness I slipped. Oh,
my
no.
God, I just totally went there.
I lost my train of thought. Anyway, go ahead.
Here. It's an imperfect but very important point, and it can't just be hand waved away.
Do you like the text?
No.
It's like really emphasizing an imperfect but very important point, and it's coming at you. It's coming at you.
No, I do know that he said this, but my point is that this text that you're putting up makes like your whole point completely moot, like, which says to me, why are you even bringing it up?
Right.
Like, if your argument is imperfect, why are you even saying it?
Right.
Like, I have an argument. It's that evil spirits make people crazy. Okay. It's an imperfect argument, but very important point.
He's not criticizing the imperfect element of the argument. He's saying that you're strawmanning the argument, that you're not criticizing the imperfect part of the argument either. That's what his claim is.
Oh, okay.
And so in case everyone in chat forgot, because we paused the video for so long, he's about to play a clip that he says shows that you strawmanned him. So we'll see if that's true or not.
Unfortunately know an otherwise wonderful person who, because of religion, dislikes homosexuals, don't we? Now, there are plenty more assertions and inflations.
The look is the best part. The look is the best part.
It sounds like to me that he just destroyed himself.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I left that part. I left that part out of the video because I didn't like. I am pro gay rights. Like, I think gay people should be able to get married. Like, I have no problem. I have gay friends. Like, knock yourself out, okay?
My best friend's gay.
No, Sitch, are you coming out of the closet?
Oh, how dare you?
But the reason that I didn't want to put that clip in the video was because I feel it's enforcing a stereotype that I just don't think is helpful. This idea that all religious people are anti-gay. Yes, there are religious people that are anti-gay. Yes, I understand that. The whole goal is to get so less religious people are anti-gay. People are not going to give up their like, if it's a choice between like supporting gay pride parades or the religion they grew up with and their whole family is involved in, they're going to pick their religion. So,
right.
Does that make sense? Is that?
Yeah, it makes sense. But going back to the video, I'll just play it real quick.
That's pretty much what Sam was conveying here. It's an imperfect but very important point, and it can't just be Steven Weinberg. That being, with or without...
Remember,
why you back it up all the way?
Oh, okay. You want me to back it up?
No, go. No, I'm saying don't back it up more. Jesus Christ.
You're fussing my head here.
Don't we? Now, there are plenty more assertions, conflations, and accusations...
Okay. My point is, remember, he's saying that this proves you strawmanned him.
Right.
Okay.
Person to do a bad thing, that takes religion. And I think that's pretty much what Sam was conveying here. It's an imperfect but very important point, and it can't just be hand waved away. All of us unfortunately know an otherwise wonderful person who, because of religion, dislikes homosexuals, don't we?
Okay, so I guess he's claiming that because he said it was an imperfect point, that means you're straw manning him, even though the example he uses right after completely goes along with the quote. He's not explaining how he thinks as an imperfect point.
No, not at all.
So for him to say that you cut that out in order to strawman him is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Unless he in the video then explains why it's an imperfect point and then didn't show that.
No, his argument is that religion makes people hate gay people. When, like you said, people hate gay people because they find gayness disgusting and they use their religion to justify that disgust.
Right.
Like Psychology 101, right? Which is why I say that he is post hoc reasoning, because he finds homophobia disgusting. And now he's using people's religion as a way to say that he's saying that religious people are all anti-gay. Am I wrong?
Saying,
can I get an amen?
He said specifically, you know that you probably know someone who you think is a good person, but they don't like gay people because of their religion.
Right. I don't know
he's not
that hypothetical person, but
yeah, so he's not saying all religious people hate gay people. And I'm sure that there are some people out there that do fit that bill. That don't like gay people.
Right.
Only because of religion.
So we all know that anecdotal evidence is the highest standard of evidence, correct? So I want to apologize publicly here to Rationality Rules for editing out your anecdotal evidence.
His anecdotal evidence, which doesn't even explain how he thinks the point is imperfect.
Yes.
In the first place. So it's moot anyway.
But that look that he gives, I took a clip out. That look is way longer. He like stares into the camera and does this really weird look. It's a weird thing.
He's like I got you.
Like he does a couple blinks, like, And I slowed it down and did like a slow zoom in on him, and I was like, no, I can't do that. I'm reinforcing the narrative.
Hey, how do we know that he's not like being held hostage off camera? And being forced to produce these videos by like a rabid Sam Harris fan. So he's trying to get our help. He's blinking in Morse code.
You know what ruined the videos for me? A little bit.
What?
I'll dispel some of the stagecraft. I mean, he's standing in front of a pretty nice wall, right?
Is it a wall? Look, it's got bends in it.
I know it's like a bed sheet.
Yeah.
I thought at first that it was I was like, well, he's got a nice wall there. That's like a nice white stained wall. Those are expensive. And then I look closer and I'm like, holy shit, he's in his fucking dorm room.
Oh, how old is he?
I don't know. I have no idea. But
oh, okay. You're comedically exaggerated.
Oh my God. Hyperbole alert. I'm sorry.
He's in front of some kind of sheet or paper or something.
Yeah, when it moves, it always ruins the illusion for me.
He doesn't have ContraPoint's amazing wallpaper, is what we're saying.
No, yeah. ContraPoints has kicked it up a notch.
We should, at some point, talk about... I know
video?
how much you love ContraPoints.
How long are we in?
We should, at some point... ContraPoint's last video, it's really funny because if it was anyone else that wasn't ContraPoints that made that video, all the SJWs would hate it.
Oh, really? Is it good though? I mean, is he making headway?
It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. And it seems like, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like a big point of the video is that people who aren't trying to pass as female, like people who are transitioning to be female and aren't passing or aren't making the effort to be feminine are just hurting the cause.
Wow. Okay.
So it's like, seems very anti-SJW.
Man, I want to say something right now that is probably so offensive that I shouldn't say it at all, but I really, really want to say it.
Don't say it. Write it out in the hangout. I'll tell you if you can say it.
Oh my God. I'll ask you off stream.
Okay.
$10
from Darth Fagit who reminded us of our fantastic catchphrase: "Don't be Cypher, be a Neo."
Oh yes. Is rationality rules a cipher or a neo?
He's 100% Cypher.
Yeah. I don't, he's never been out of the Matrix, so Cypher at least made it out for a little while.
Well, maybe he was like really religious as a kid or something.
Yeah. How
And he switched teams.
just let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, we know his argument, right? His argument is get rid of religion and homophobia is gone, right? That's the argument that he's making here, correct?
He would say that we're strawmanning him because I don't know if he said it in those exact terms, but that seems like that's the implicit argument he's making.
He hasn't said it in those explicit terms, but he went back and played the clip.
Right.
What is his argument? You
I don't
steel
know.
man him.
I don't know what his argument is because he hasn't told us.
His argument is religion makes people homophobes, and without religion, there wouldn't be homophobes. How is that not his argument?
His argument is, but see, that's the implicit argument. The explicit argument is, that there are good people out there that only hate gay people because of religion. It's a different thing.
But he thinks religion causes homophobia, right?
Right. Yeah.
And we don't believe that.
He's not saying it's for everyone though.
Right. Well, if you don't even know what his argument is, how am I supposed to steal man? Jeez. You're like
the one watching his videos.
Yeah. Well, you're watching him now, buddy.
History hasn't told us what his argument is in the video, so.
Oh, just wait. They're going to make fun of my laugh soon. That's great. Like, you can't even laugh now without them saying it's like fake. Like, why would I fake a laugh?
Now, there are plenty more assertions, conflations, and accusations within this video that I could respond to, but as another commenter observed, Adam didn't really respond to anything I said.
Pause it. That guy, I fully responded to. I had a back and forth, and he wanted to do a live stream with me. We talked about different books that he's read and not read. Mm-hmm. So that is not true.
Wait, did you respond to him in that comment?
That comment I responded to. Yes, there's a long comment. I responded to every single point he made, and we had a very civil back and forth. He's been a comment of mine for a long time.
So so let's get this straight. So that means that Rationality Rules clicked on this comment, specifically this specific comment, and he saw your guys' back and forth, and then cut that all out just so he can have the top comment.
Unless, it says right there in the comment that it was edited 1 day ago. So when he clicked on it, that could have been before I responded.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So
when was this a recent video or an old video?
I can't remember what video it was, but I do remember responding to that comment because, he had good points. So I responded.
But it would be weird. Why would he have taken a screenshot of that clip if it was an old video?
No, it was a recent video. Okay. Yeah, it was a recent video. It was a recent video. Might have been the last. I do a Rationality Rules response video every day at 4 p.m. So hyperbole, guys. That was a joke. But that guy wanted, man, now that he's in Rationality Rules live stream, shit, I should do a live stream with him. The only reason I didn't want to do a live stream with him was because I was like, dude, he's giving me, everyone links me to this edge.org article that Steven Pinker wrote 6 years ago. I read the article 6 years ago. Okay. A lot has happened in the last 6 years. Jonathan Haidt responds to that. It's a great article, but there are people that are actually doing research on group selection. I'm very interested to see which direction it will go on group selection. But Peterson himself says he doesn't believe in group selection. And Joseph Henrich, who's done a lot of the research in that I pay attention to, says he doesn't believe in group selection. So I don't know that group selection is essential to this argument that religion has utility.
Right.
So, but I asked him, he has read The Righteous Mind. I asked him if he'd read Henrich. He said he hadn't read Henrich. And I pointed out some points about Henrik that were mistakes in his comment. I mean, I just what he's saying here now is it's bullshit.
Anyway, I found
Did you find the
found the
comment? You're
thread.
looking for it.
I found
Okay.
the comment. It was in your atheist dogma destroyed by evolutionary science video.
Dude, are my titles not the shit or what? Am I not just, I mean, I feel like I'm knocking it out of the ballpark with those titles.
So let's see. His original comment was 6 days ago, and your response was 5 days ago.
Ah.
So I guess we can't tell if he saw it or not.
Yeah, you're playing full detective. I love this. You're going,
That's what I
you're
always
going
do.
true detective on him. You want to know, like, is he lying or not? You want to know if this is him deliberately shading the truth.
Right. So
I mean,
but it's
just go ahead. Sorry.
it's funny because it's, as you said, it says 1 day ago. So that means that he was like all on top of that video like the day it came out.
He commented. He commented in the comment
Oh, he
section.
did?
Yeah, I didn't respond to him, but I mean, he commented. He commented, and a couple of my fans kind of went after him a little bit. And I mean, it's just I don't want to get into it in the comment section. Like, have a live stream with me, man. Be a man.
Okay, so his comment says, "Thank you to all that pointed out that Adam misrepresented me. I appreciate it. Come on, Adam, clean your room already."
Yeah. So
And
he throws in an
listed
ad
as
hominem.
it's listed as 5 days ago, which is the same. We'll see. That's the problem. We don't know. We can't be certain if he saw your back and forth with him or not.
Yeah.
So
Dude,
it's ambiguous.
First of all, I don't care if he's lying, to be honest with you.
I care.
I know.
I'm all about the truth, baby.
Earth,
clip of me he played
live
near the
stream. We'll
start
do it.
had nothing to do with what he spoke about for the rest of the video. He strawmanned me and then burnt it to the ground with irrelevant, pretentious rhetoric, numerous fake laughs, and a lengthy quote from Jonathan Haidt.
I love that laugh.
With that buried, let's move on to another of Adam's videos. This time,
You pretentious.
With that buried. Listen to that. Like, he thinks he did the same exact thing when he did the response to Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson. Like, he did his super intelligent play-by-play. He was the most horrible commentator imaginable. Like, the Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris had a dispute over whether or not the Soviet Union was atheistic, right? And this dispute was not resolved at all. Okay. They had a back and forth about it, but no resolution was reached. And to hear Rationality Rules tell it in his play-by-play, he's like, Jordan said this thing that, the Soviet Union was not was atheistic, as he said many times before. Sam Harris bitch slapped him on that, and with that settled, they moved on. Like Sam Harris obviously won that exchange.
Yeah. Well, see, he's not up to our amazing level of commentary where we can make a 5-minute PragerU video go for 3 hours.
Baby, when you free yourself from the script, it opens up a whole world of opportunities.
his first in which he post-hocs my criticism of Jordan defining any and all action as religious. Oh, sorry, not post-hocs. I mean strawmans.
Yeah.
This is everyone is...
Wow. So has he ever done... So I guess he's trying to say that your laugh sounds like Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead were pretty popular. I'm like, I don't know. I got 50,000 subs that seem just fine with my laugh. So
that's pretty ad hominem.
Doesn't seem
direction to go. So it's interesting if he's complaining that you're engaged in all these fallacies for him to do all this ad hom stuff.
Self-described troll is ad hom as well, right? Let's be honest.
What's worse than ad hom?
Oh yeah, it's completely deceptive. Yeah.
Yeah.
religious, debunked.
But not really. So I love how these people are just totally triggered.
I can't tell which is the video.
It's me. I'm laughing my ass off over here.
And who doesn't like, let's be honest, anyone that doesn't like Adam's smooth, silky voice is probably like a soulless demon from the pits of hell.
A lot of people in my comment section they love to comment on the Rationality Rules video and say, what is truth? Like with like TROOF. What is truth?
Oh, is that how he's saying that? Or are you saying that?
No, he pronounces it truth.
That's funny.
When he talks about truth.
Well, he's not American. He doesn't say words right.
I don't know the English accents, so I mean Sargon of Akkad is the upper class English accent. I don't know about his though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar enough with the accents.
What does it matter? It's just American and not American. That's all that matters.
Exactly. America.
Yeah.
For Jordan Peterson.
So, to be clear, the crux of my criticism was not that Jordan had created a new definition of religion. Rather, it was that he was equivocating it with a colloquial definition in order to evade legitimate criticisms of religion. And to prove it, here's me saying...
Wait, did we skip something? I feel like we skipped something.
No, that's it, man.
I'm so confused. I feel like
it's all word salad, man. What the hell? He's not even making an argument.
This is everyone is religious, debunked.
But not really. So I love how these people are just totally triggered over Jordan Peterson.
So, to be clear, the crux of my criticism was not that Jordan had created a new definition of religion. Rather, it was that he was equivocating it with a colloquial definition in order to evade legitimate criticisms of religion.
Now, do you believe that? Do you think Jordan Peterson's actually doing that?
I don't think he's doing that, but I can really understand why someone would think he's doing that.
Right. So the definition he is, since he doesn't really make it clear in the video, the video that he's talking about is the video where Jordan Peterson says religion is what you act out, that your highest value in your hierarchy of values is your religion. And I'm making the claim that his highest value in his hierarchy of values is religion makes people into homophobes, and we got to stop that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So he's an activist.
Though, wait a minute. So equivocation fallacy, isn't that, if I'm reading what it says, isn't that when you use two different definitions in the same argument?
Yes, he is saying that, and he uses this in the end of the video. He is saying that Jordan Peterson uses words differently in different contexts and means completely different things. So he's saying that Jordan Peterson is being dishonest.
You can use I would imagine it's okay to use the same word that has multiple meanings in different contexts differently.
Yeah,
because it's in a different context. But the fallacy is supposed to be when you're using in the same argument. Like the example, when I look on Google, it says all trees have barks. All trees have barks. Every dog barks. Therefore, every dog is a tree.
Yeah, exactly.
And I definitely don't think Jordan Peterson is doing that.
No. And he uses clips from different... I mean, the clip of Jordan Peterson where he says religion is what you act out. I mean, he's used that definition elsewhere, but then he says that religion... He uses when Jordan Peterson doesn't want to answer the do you believe in God question, he says then he's talking about religion in a different context.
Right. So it's kind of like, who was it that we did a stream on where they took two different lectures that Jordan Peterson did and they acted like he was doing the same thing?
That was genetically modified fedora tipper. He's in this clan too. He's all over. Right. He's like, oh my God, Rationality Rules, kill shot. This is great.
So I'm going to back it up a second because I think since he was giving you all the hassle for ad hoc, I think he improperly defined equivocation fallacy.
Oh, okay.
So let's find out.
Man,
not
you're
that Jordan
the
had
best.
created.
You're like, what? I'm like, I just let it go. I'm like, who cares? Screw this guy. I got 10 videos to make today.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, because you have too many videos. So you don't have time for this.
a new definition of religion. Rather, it was that he was.
Wait, I gotta go back a little.
I closed
Oh, no, yeah.
tabs for you.
That's how important I am, chat. I'm the
really.
best.
So I love how these people are just totally triggered over Jordan Peterson.
So, to be clear, the crux of my criticism was not that Jordan had created a new definition of religion. Rather, it was that he was equivocating it with a colloquial definition in order to evade legitimate criticisms of religion. And to prove it, here's me saying as much. But to be clear, let me repeat what I've said in regards to Jordan redefining other words. There's nothing inherently wrong with him creating a new definition of religion, but what is wrong is how he uses it. So both of these arguments are flawed for exactly the same reason.
He shows it.
They either commit an equivocation fallacy by using one definition of their keyword during their first premise and conclusion, and a completely made up and useless definition during their second premise, and are thus invalid, or they use a nonsensical definition throughout, which, while valid, in the context of their conversation only serves to confuse and obfuscate the underlying question.
Okay, so the first part of that, he describes it correctly. But then the second part, he added a meaning that it didn't have.
What?
A nonsensical word. Because that has nothing to do with equivocation fallacy.
Oh, okay.
We'll see. I guess we'll see where he goes.
Jordan Peterson doesn't use a made-up nonsensical word.
Well, I'm assuming he's going to say Jordan Peterson's, the way he defines things are just made up.
Yeah, that's his whole argument. He just doesn't understand what they mean.
Right.
Now, I have to preface this because Adam didn't. Instead, he made out that my criticism was simply that Jordan was using a non-colloquial definition of religion, and he then brought up Emil Durkheim's definition of religion, conflated it with Jordan's, despite the fact that the two are significantly different, and then concluded by attacking anti-theism. And the reason he can say that everyone is religious...
You can't be a non-believer in your action.
...is because he's created a new definition of religion that's somehow more vague than the already useless, a pursuit or interest followed with great devotion.
Says the guy who is pursuing the interest of atheist activism with great devotion. I just
got him there.
So many people, I can't believe he used that in this video, because so many people were like, why didn't you put that at the very beginning of the video? Because that's like the kill shot. Like his,
but why would he put it in at all?
No, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, why would he put that in his video? Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird.
I was stoked when I saw it in there. I'm like, oh yeah, great, perfect, thank you. Then he even shows the Emil Durkheim definition, which I was like, yeah, kill, great. Not only that, I'll tell you a little secret about the Emil Durkheim definition after you play it.
Okay, I'll wait with bated breath.
Jordan Peterson was using the Durkheimian definition of religious psychology. Now, maybe I've never had a problem with this idea that Peterson puts forward because, I've studied sociology, and Dr. Peterson's definition of religious systems as what you act out is so close to the definition of religion put forward by the father of modern social science, the French sociologist Emile Durkheim, that I just assumed this was the definition that he was using.
Now, what I find to be extremely telling here is that despite the fact that I made crystal clear that I have no problem with Jordan's definition in and of itself, there's nothing inherently wrong with him creating a new definition of religion, but what is wrong is how he uses it. Adam still treated me as if I do. And so, again, Adam didn't address my criticism at all. Instead, he, again, strawmanned me and then burnt it to the ground with irrelevant, pretentious rhetoric, numerous fake laughs, and several misrepresentations of anti-theism.
So this idea that factual scientific truth is more...
Wait, does he not show... Is that it? He doesn't show what he's referring to?
He doesn't really show, no. He just states it.
Okay, so we can't even judge whether he's right or not, because he doesn't even show you what happened.
Dude, this is a hit piece. What do you think they want people evaluating it? Come on.
I want facts and evidence. You got to show people what you're talking about. He just declared it like it was true.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have to go back and do extra work and look and see if it was true.
People love those these videos they're like 50,000 views, man. People loved them.
Right.
Yeah. That's the only reason he responded. Are you kidding me? I did a response video to him when I had a tiny channel and he just ignored me. So
exactly. So I'll say this to to Mr. RR on the off chance that you're watching this through clenched teeth and seething hatred.
There's my fake laughter for you.
You can add mine in there too. In the future, when you're doing this, you got to show people what you're talking about. Because I don't know what the fuck you just made a claim for someone who's talking bad about going against religion and trying to claim that someone's strawmanning you and engaging in all these fallacies. You're not showing the evidence that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So
what would be the straw man? I mean,
he's saying that the straw man is his point was that Jordan Peterson's definition is fine. It's just that Jordan Peterson is he's hopping between definitions in the same argument.
Okay, I make a lot of videos, so it's difficult for me to remember, but it just dawned on me that in that video, his claim is that Jordan Peterson is using different definitions of religion to be dishonest, right? That's what I boiled his claim down to. And I showed Jordan Peterson's motivation. I showed clips of Jordan Peterson talking about what he's trying to do, that he wants to start an online university, like all these different motivations that he had. So I did address his claim that Jordan Peterson's being dishonest.
No, but so he clipped a single part where you said that he's triggered because Jordan Peterson's using this different definition of religion.
Right.
So he's saying that because you said that, you're strawmanning him because he specifically said that wasn't his problem.
Right. So I mean, if he wasn't triggered, I mean, show some evidence though. I mean, we want to see proof.
Well, I want to see he should have done, or I guess, I mean, maybe should, it depends on whether you want to be, factual or not. But he should have shown his claim, what he was claiming specifically, that Jordan Peterson was using the equivocation fallacy. But he didn't show that, so I don't know. And then you're saying that your point wasn't that singular point that you went on.
Yeah. In the very beginning of the video, I addressed that Jordan Peterson's being dishonest thing.
Right, but so if you talk specifically about his equivocation claim, then he would be being dishonest because he just cut out a tiny section of what you said and said you're strawmanning him, even if you address what he thinks is his actual claim later.
Right.
So.
Boy, it's difficult, man. My brain's in knots now. More valuable than inherited wisdom or tradition, or what they would call dogma, is the axiom that is at the base of the anti-theist belief system.
There's a trend here, isn't there? Yeah. In fact, do you know what? Let's have some fun. I'm going to christen this the Adam-friended formula, and here's how it works. Step 1, find a video in which someone isn't deep-throating Jordan Peterson.
Dude, that's
pretty funny.
I know. I can't wait to use that.
Step 2, quote mine the author. And, of course,
look,
be
that's
sure
his
to
buddy.
discard any
hey,
references.
Why didn't he use a good screen cap of his buddy there? He used an awful one.
He used an awful one.
That guy, he looks. That's the look that he gives right when he's getting ready to kiss Jordan Peterson's ass.
Right, that's what it looked. Oh my god, that's a good point.
You just put Jordan Peterson's butt right up there.
Right.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to use that one in a thumb.
See, genetically modified fedora tipper has a much better background.
That is the video that Thunderfoot shared, which I was like, oh my god, Thunderfoot.
Well, Thunderfoot's super anti-theist, isn't he?
Yeah, I guess maybe. I don't know. It's just that video is so bad. I mean, it's so manipulative. Right.
Well, it's everyone has their emotional blinding biases, and I guess Jordan Peterson totally triggers the anti-theist.
Yeah,
because he's doing everything counter to their belief system.
Yeah, he triggers anti-theists, feminists, social justice warriors, trans activists. Like he's got oh my god,
he's got them all.
or examples that they give. Step 3. Find as relevant a clip from
He said step free.
He did.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Maybe it's a non-American thing. So I don't know. We're gonna limit our ad homs here at Friended and Sitch.
What? That's the best part. This is Ad Hom Central.
There you
He
go.
does. I mean, the formula he kind of gets a little bit wrong though,
Right.
because you actually have to have an argument.
That's true. You can
I mean,
only draw
that's-
people in with the clickbait, but then you
gotta have an
give them
argument.
something. Yep.
Jordan or Jonathan Haidt as you can, and if you can't, don't worry, just include one anyway. Step 4. Accuse the author of
Why would he show a clip like the pictures of not your? It's like someone else's video.
Yeah, that's
Could have been one of
Mr.
your
Those are
videos.
Mr. Reagan's videos. Those are good videos. You guys should check out Mr. Reagan. He's a little. I like Mr. Reagan. I want to get this straight. Mr. Reagan and I are on the same side, and I think he's a little bit further conservative than me, and I think that might put a little bit of the conservative blinders on. But all in all, he's a straight up guy. So
Is his name because of Ronald Reagan?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's a Ronald Reagan fan. So.
Then it's probably safe to assume he's a little bit more conservative than you.
Well, he's a nice guy though. We should have him on just to trigger you. Just to...
Well, we don't have to talk about Reagan. Jesus.
He did
know-
some good. He did some, and he's a Christian too. He did some good commentary on the videos, on the debates. I watched them all. They were great.
If you could remove the earrings and shave your hair down so it's not a racist black stereotype, I like the image. You
Oh
should use
yeah,
it.
it's great. I mean, he's the whole. I don't know. It's a little the crosshairs thing. It's a little violent. I mean,
It is a little violent.
yeah.
He must be a little bit more angrier than he's letting on.
Yeah, and I don't have any. I don't do earrings. I don't get the. But I mean, I understand it. He's because I did the emo stuff on him. So I mean, I get it.
You know who you look like? Maybe I wonder if that's what he was going for. Look like George Michaels.
Oh, really? Huh.
That's the guy that sings the Faith song, right?
Yeah.
He is wearing ear. He was going for George Michaels wearing the Faith earrings.
Way to be anti-gay, dude. Jeez.
Okay, it all makes sense.
all the disingenuous tactics that you're currently employing.
I very much despise post hoc reasoning.
Step 5. Add obviously fake and pretentious laughs. And finally, step
That's step 1, dude. You obviously don't know how this is done.
It's interesting because to me that really shows that you have been triggering him for a while. Because he's pointing at all these like little things. He's not sticking to the arguments.
Oh, you're right. Holy cow.
For someone who's criticizing all your quote unquote fallacies, he's not sticking to the arguments at all.
Yeah. You know, actually, he's very wrong because what happens is people send me videos and they're like, will you respond to this video? Look at this terrible video. And I'm like, okay, let me take a look. So I don't seek them out.
Sure you don't. I don't.
I mean, he knows how.
Type
it
in
goes.
Jordan Peterson on the YouTube search and you set the filter to past 24 hours every day when you wake up.
I actually don't. If I did that, my views would not be dropping like they are. I'm telling you, I'm in a existential crisis right now because most of the views come from people doing Jordan Peterson clips, right? But now I have a fan base that wants me to do commentary, so I'm taking a hit on my views to do commentary.
That makes sense. I mean, that's kind of how you have to build up, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Like, it's a
wondering
good way to
when are you going to
establish-
cut? When are you going to cut the whole animation thing, man? We need more videos from you. You're a smart guy, dude. It's obvious. We don't need all that animation.
We don't need all that animation.
I listened. I'm embarrassed to say this. I really am. But
Okay.
I listened to your last video while I was doing the dishes. I didn't even look at your animation.
There wasn't like any animation in the last video though.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't even know. Good for you.
You're talking about the YouTube one, right? The AIN network.
Yeah, it was amazing, dude.
Yeah, there was very little. That's why I got it out so fast because there was very
Okay,
little
yeah.
animation.
The whole time I was listening to it, I was like, how the fuck did he get this out so fast? Jeez.
If you would have looked, you would have been like, oh, he's just taking screenshots of articles.
Well, you did the screenshots of. Oh man, I'm talking. No, don't even do the screenshots of articles.
Oh my god, I can't. There's a limit. I can't be like when like Tim Pool and Sargon, who I all love dearly. Whenever they read an article, they just have like the screen like rolling through, and I'm like, no, gotta take a screenshot.
You could be Tim Pool, I'm telling you. My little
No, Tim Pool's Tim Pool. No one can replace Tim Pool.
But I mean, you.
I could do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. You can use my little video clip of you. You don't even need to be on camera. It'll be even easier.
Me floating in the ether. Yeah.
You could do it.
I
Needs
thought
laser eyes, but
I might do this. I thought about doing this because the videos I made where I'm like floating through trees and water and all that nonsense.
Oh, I know.
I'm just gonna. I thought about just reusing those backgrounds.
You
with
don't?
New audio. No,
Oh my God.
I never did that. They're all new. They're all unique. So I might do that in the future.
You're killing me.
My inefficiency is killing you.
I've so liberated myself from all of that stuff that you can't do a video a day and not be.
Yeah, obviously it's impossible.
Yeah.
6. Make sure that Jordan is in the thumbnail and that he's shooting lasers from his eyes. Yeah.
Come on, that's step 1.
There were people in my comments. Like now, half of my comments are like, not enough lasers. So there are people.
That's like your thing.
I know there are people who demand the lasers, and somebody was giving me a hard time about the lasers, and someone was saying, "You don't understand. I would unsubscribe if there weren't lasers."
See that's like a good mark. That's a good way to market yourself. Is you got to have something like something silly that everyone rallies behind. And I feel like everyone rallies behind the eye lasers.
Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, I hope this video gets a lot of views just because, like he's pretty much now. Anytime anyone sees eye lasers, they're gonna be like, "Oh, look, Adam video. Let me watch this."
He's promoting your channel.
Adam, jokes aside, you should take some advice from Jordan and try still manning your opponents. You seriously need to clean your room, bucko.
See, one of the things that Carl Rogers said, the psychologist, was that a good way to have a discussion with someone is to tell them what you think they think until they think that what you said reflects what they said.
And finally, let's move on to Adam.
So he's not if he's insulting your quote unquote fake laughs. I mean, that's not steel manning someone.
Totally. And not only that, I am of the opinion that I could, no matter what I said, he would say that's wrong. Like this is
right.
We're in like vendetta mode here.
Right. And also, since he didn't show specific clips, for all I know, he's cutting you out of context too.
Yeah. Oh, he's completely straw manning me. He doesn't even understand my argument.
Right.
He's looking down his nose at us. Literally. Like right
well,
now.
Not me. I don't have anything to do with this. I'm divorced from this.
They were
it's all you.
No, people were in his comments section talking about how him and Sitch are gonna have a 6-hour stream today. Watch this.
Really?
Yeah,
that's kind of amazing.
They already know what's coming. They
already know it.
He left out the Hugo and Jake formula. Maybe he's gonna put that in the next video.
See, yeah. He needs to do a stream with genetically modified Fedora and Hugo and Jake, and they can all just talk about how much they hate you.
He does a podcast, and I don't know if he's done it anymore. I think they did like maybe 10 episodes, and it just never took off. He does it with Rachel Oates and Holy Kool-Aid, and they talk about science. It's one of the things that bugs me the most is they're giving science a bad name because joking aside, people don't like anti-theists. Like they're not popular. Right. So if you're going to stand under the banner of science and just be jerks to everyone, people hate science, and I love science. I want science. Science is a search for knowledge. So I feel like they do science a dirty with what they're doing.
Right. It's like how the SJWs push everyone away from being liberals.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, push everyone against turn people against trans people. I mean, maybe I should watch ContraPoint's last video.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You big transphobe. Oh, there's the fake laugh. There
My
it is.
my disgust is under control. Okay, I know how to control my disgust response. If not only that,
Adam's
it's
third
involuntary.
video.
You wouldn't make fun of people who were agoraphobic.
Likely story. Likely story.
In which he accuses me of deliberately misrepresenting Jordan's definition of truth.
If you understand Jordan Peterson's argument, you know immediately that these statements are false, that he is misrepresenting Jordan Peterson's idea of truth.
Peterson is asserting that because we can only perceive objective facts subjectively, there are no objective facts. But that's not how it works, and it's not what all of the evidence indicates.
So this is very far from what Jordan Peterson is asserting. Jordan Peterson is asserting that there are infinite number of facts and that those facts need to be hierarchically ordered. And we do this all the time. If we are against a particular political position, we order the facts that support our position above the facts that disconfirm our position. It's the exact same thing that Rationality Rules is doing in this video. Jordan Peterson believes in objective facts. Jordan Peterson is a scientist. Reality alert. Jordan Peterson was a professor at Harvard, okay? He believes in facts. This assertion that Rationality Rules makes is bonkers. Jordan Peterson believes in objective facts. He says that the way you order those objective facts is subjective, which, newsflash, it is.
Now, to be fair, in my original video, I
this
should
is
have
the part where
explained
he's
that by
fair. At
saying
the very end,
Peterson
when
is
everyone's
asserting
already
that because
clicked
we can
off.
only perceive objective
Right.
facts subjectively, there are no objective facts. What I was driving at is that by asserting that scientific, realist truth is nested within, subordinate to, or contingent upon Darwinian truth, Jordan is, by extension, necessarily asserting that literal truth does not exist without Darwinian truth, since he
Bullshit.
insists that literal truth is
Wait,
entirely
I got everyone. I
predicated
don't know what the
upon
fuck he's talking about.
subordinate to, or contingent upon. Subjectively, there are no objective facts. What I was driving at is that by asserting that
So listen,
scientific,
I'll explain it to
realist
you real
truth is
simply
nested
because
within,
his idea is not going to really like do it justice. Okay.
Okay.
And Joseph Henrich talks about this as well. Okay. There's all these traditions that they have in hunter-gatherer societies, right? That are, you cook the stew in this certain way. Okay. And
Okay.
if you don't cook the stew in this certain way, you're going to die because there's some toxins in some root that they use, right?
Right.
Now, they don't know that. They're doing it because it's tradition, right? It's inherited wisdom. There is
Right.
a scientific truth nested inside this process that they do to cook the stew that they don't have any access to because they're not scientific people, right? But that doesn't mean
Right.
that scientific truth isn't embedded in there. Now,
Okay.
with the idea extrapolating that out to religion is there could be psychological processes that are going on inside these religious traditions that have factual, reasonable, scientific evidence nested within the truth claims, but we don't necessarily have access to them in the same way that we
Right.
don't
Like
necessarily.
kosher law.
Yeah, exactly. So but Peterson does not deny that the factual truth claims are nested inside the wisdom claims. He's just saying that it's not always accessible. How is that complicated?
Right. I understand that point. I don't understand what his point is.
Yeah, me neither. I just wanted to explain my point so people would know that my point is a perfectly reasonable point. And I mean, I did the chart for reasons. People were thanking me for that chart for days. They're like, this makes it so simple.
Right.
subordinate to, or contingent upon Darwinian truth.
Wait, what? Okay.
But he's saying that because we don't have access, like he believes that, I mean, he said in his video that if if we were to be annihilated by nuclear weapons, that this would mean the energy stored in an atom wasn't a fact. And I was like, no, dude, that's not remotely what Jordan Peterson is saying. Like, he believes that because if some scientific factual truth ends up annihilating us, ends up failing the wisdom test, that all of a sudden that fact fails the factual test. And that's not the case at all. I mean, my video today is on this same topic because Cosmic Skeptic bonked him in the head for like for his making up terms and stuff, all the things he's accusing Jordan Peterson of. And I was like, oh wow, they're getting very close to Peterson land over here with because they're approaching metaphorical truth, which the whole idea behind metaphorical truth is it's just a claim that you can't understand the scientific truth nested inside how you make the stew. I mean, as scientific people we can, but as primitive people they can't necessarily.
Well, yeah, but I wonder if he had originally labeled this as metaphorical truth, if they would have such a problem with it. Because I think so much of the problem
Peterson would have.
Huh?
If Peterson would have, you're saying the problems with
Peterson?
Peterson?
Yeah, Peterson would have labeled it metaphorical truth in his first podcast with Sam Harris.
Right.
Because that was my problem with it too. Is just you can't use the word truth in that way.
He was on his deathbed, man. Just cut the guy some slack. What kind of Peterson Internet Defense Force is this?
No, but we talked about this. I've always not agreed with that stance.
No, I know. A good friend of mine, Gary Edwards, doesn't like the term metaphorical truth either.
I'm fine with the term metaphorical truth. I'm just not fine with using the word true alone in that way.
How do you? I mean, true seems. You should watch my video today because I'm curious what is a better word than true.
Well, the problem. Metaphorical truth is fine, or wisdom, as we talked about.
Yeah, wisdom.
Because the whole point of words is that everyone's got to know what the fuck the other person's talking about.
No, the words are to deceive people.
Now you sound like the people's are people.
Why do you think the TOSs are so long, man? Words is how you get people.
Here's the problem. The P plus P equals R people could make a metaphorical truth argument of why it's okay for them to redefine the word racism.
Right. But the idea behind Peterson truth or metaphorical truth or whatever you want to call it is that idea is tested in the Darwinian frame. And when the P plus P people come along and they destroy society and America falls into chaos and we have a civil war and we're all dead and the rise of China comes, guess what? China's metaphorical truth wins. Our metaphorical truth loses.
Yeah, but we don't know. We won't know. You can't judge that until afterwards.
Now you know why you can't get inside the metaphorical truth. Now you know why the scientific truth claims are buried.
I understand that, but I'm saying I think people could still use the concept in that way.
Yeah.
Because the SJW side could very easily say, "Oh, well, there's a pragmatic Darwinian reason for us to redefine racism in this way because we're just trying to get white people to be better, to be better human beings."
They're anti-science. They would never do that.
I know, but they could do that.
Yeah. You're being anti-Peterson a bit. I'm getting a little uncomfortable. I'm just kidding around. I understand. I understand the objection, and my question is though, I don't know that I would have even given that podcast a second look if he came out and just made everything clear, though. I'm not sure I would. I mean, first of all, he's a psychologist.
Right.
There's a video that I haven't made yet, but I keep thinking about I mean, I somewhat agree with rationality rules here in that Jordan Peterson is being obstinate on the God question. And there's perfect evidence of why he's doing this. I mean, if you've read 12 Rules in the book, he has a chapter. The last chapter is pet a cat if you see him in the street, right? People are crazy about cat people and dog people, like hate each other's guts sometimes. It's like weird. It's really weird. But he gets around this by talking about, he tells a story about a dog before he tells a story about a cat. And he even admits in the book, he's like, this is because, I don't want to offend the cat people. I don't want to offend the dog people. Like, I know people are big into their animals. They're easily offended by these things. He's completely talking to the elephant, as Jonathan Haidt would put it. So on the religious stuff, he's doing the same exact thing. Like, all these anti-theists want him to do is to pick a side. But he stands as much to gain by picking a side in the religion debate as he does in the dog versus cat debate. He really has nothing to gain by doing that.
Right.
So why would he do it?
No, I'm assuming that's why he hasn't. But you're relating that back to the truth claim. So are you saying that he specifically is using the word true because he knows it's controversial and he's just trying to generate?
Not at all. No, he's being completely legitimate on the truth claim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, and he doesn't want to answer that question, and there's ways for him to answer it that are logically coherent with his system. I mean, when he answers the question, I don't have any. I mean, I understand his answers. His answers are very atheistic answers, but they are buried in some subterfuge, and for good reason. Am I unclear on this?
It's interesting because on one hand, I think if you were, I don't know, it's hard to tell. I think you could make a valid argument that if you were a religious person and you really listened to what Jordan Peterson was saying, that it would make you more secular, not more religious.
Correct.
But I think part of the problem is that most people don't actually ever really listen to what people are saying. They just kind of get that simulated thinking, vague sense of it.
Yeah, what we believe drives what we perceive.
Right.
This
so it's
guy
very
sees
possible.
This guy sees Jordan Peterson as a Bible thumper, which is
right.
I mean, and all the evidence. If you haven't listened to any Jordan Peterson, you could easily make that assumption. I made that assumption probably for the first 6 months as he was blowing up. He did the biblical series, and I thought, okay, well, Bible thumper, I'm out of here.
Right. But I think you could also say that that religious people could also listen to Jordan Peterson lectures and think he's a Bible thumper.
I don't think so, man. My comment section is filled with Christians who think Jordan Peterson is an atheist and have no problem with
Really?
that. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Because it's weird, because I would think more religious people wouldn't like him. Because, I mean, he flat out said that the Bible was written by men, not by God.
I don't know how many people are these fundamentalists, though. I think kind of the fundamentalist is the straw man.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the numbers are in America, but
without numbers, we don't know.
Yeah.
We're just anecdoting it.
Okay, so I'm gonna listen real hard and try to understand what Mr. R is saying right here.
He does some apologizing here.
He what?
He does some apologizing here, I think.
Oh.
Subjectively, there are no objective facts. What I was driving at is that by asserting that scientific, realist truth is nested within, subordinate to, or contingent upon Darwinian truth, Jordan is, by extension, necessarily asserting that literal truth does not exist without Darwinian truth, since he insists that literal truth is entirely predicated upon Darwinian truth. And so, what I'm saying...
Is that an assertion that Peterson has ever made, that all literal truth is nested within Darwinian truth?
No, I mean,
because I don't know. I've never heard him say that, but I've never been looking for that either.
He does. I mean, that's basically the claim that he's making in the first Peterson podcast. And he does. He says that the science is nested within Darwinian truth. Yeah.
No, but does he say all science? Like, well, wait a minute. Well, here's the part of the problem. Okay, if Jordan Peterson is saying science is nested in Darwinian truth, he's not talking about objective reality. He's talking about the way in which we figure out objective reality.
Yeah, he's talking about the way that we conceptualize it.
Right. So, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed here. It's kind of like I can kind of see what rationality is saying, but I think it's like a very oversimplified uh negative view of it.
Facts do not become falsified in the scientific sense just because they're nested in the Darwinian sense.
No, but he's saying that he's criticizing Peterson for saying that all facts are nested in Darwinian facts. That all objective facts are nested in Darwinian facts. But I'm assuming Peterson's saying our ability to find facts.
Yeah, not
are
their
nested
truth,
in.
not their truth validity. Yeah, I guess that's
Right.
a conflation there.
Right.
Yeah, he's saying that the using the facts.
Right.
He's
But
saying
so
that
but
how
when
you
you
use the
say
facts is important. Go ahead. Sorry.
but when you say that Jordan Peterson doesn't believe in objective truth, the implication is that he doesn't believe that like reality itself is objective. And it sounds more like Jordan Peterson's, from what you've described, is saying he's saying that Jordan Peterson's saying not that that reality isn't objective, but it's that humans may not be able to figure out what it is without some Darwinian purpose nested within it.
Well, this came up in the video that I put out today because, like, he makes a claim in his morality video, Rationality Rules does, that his instinct to survive is an axiomatic ought, is what he calls it. It's a fact of nature, and Cosmic Skeptic points out that that you have to separate the belief claim, the belief that I ought to survive, and the natural claim of whether or not I ought to survive. And I pointed out immediately that that's exactly what Peterson is doing, because the belief that you ought to survive is a type of metaphorical truth, because you don't know if you ought to survive on the natural level until you actually survive, because nature's out there trying to kill your ass. So
Right.
if you don't, the test, the ultimate test of whether or not naturally you ought to survive is your survival. So until you close that loop, and this is exactly what Jordan Peterson is saying, until you close that loop, you don't know if naturally you ought to survive. And that's why he says true enough, because when you're in a dynamic situation, you have to use the strategies and scientific truth at your disposal. You don't have all the scientific truth, and chances are the scientific truth that you have is too much for you to know what's important and not important. So you're using a sort of metaphorical truth always in the world, which this is why I think nesting it within, and it balloons out into other ways, because, and Brett Weinstein touches on this as well, because when he talks about metaphorical truth, he's saying, and I kind of agree with what Brett Weinstein is saying that scientific truth or metaphorical truth, he says, is subordinate to scientific truth. But I agree with him there, but I disagree on his reasoning behind it. I won't get into it here because it's complicated, and I'll probably get a bunch of shit wrong that he's gonna nail me on. But
And this has already been complicated enough.
yeah, it's way too complicated. Yeah, let's just move on. This is way too complicated.
Okay.
Do you understand? You gotta, like, it takes sustained brain power.
I understand. I don't know if I don't agree with his point, but I don't 100% disagree with it.
I don't either.
It's kind of wavering.
But when did he not say in the video that Jordan Peterson doesn't believe in facts?
Oh, I don't know. He said he doesn't believe in objective truth.
Do you
I don't know if
think
he
that
said
Jordan
facts
Peterson doesn't believe in objective truth?
No, of course not. But the way he's as he's trying to retroactively explain what he was talking about. And I'm saying I don't know if I even agree with his long form explanation of what he was talking about.
He's backpedaling, man. He's totally backpedaling. I nailed him. Everyone today
Got him.
was saying that. Well, the video I made today is I mean, it's a fascinating. I'm fascinated by it because I mean, you can extrapolate it out into every moral action has something to do with survival and reproduction. Like that's where morality comes from, which is, I mean, that's the interesting thing.
Saying here is that I'm largely responsible for this confusion. Sorry. However, with that said, Jordan did assert that Darwinian truth supersedes literal truth in regards to truth claim, not just that it supersedes in regards to what we should care about. And I gave ample examples in my video, all of which, by the way, didn't make it into Adam's response. And so, for what it's worth, here's a few of them and a few extra because why not?
The fundamentals of truth are those that guide action. And then the objective science is nested inside that. The ethical pursuit supersedes the scientific pursuit with regards to truth claim.
If somebody writes down...
So do you get that? Do you understand why? Did my explanation help at all?
Yeah, no, I completely understand. But I don't agree with rationality's interpretation of this, because it seems like the implicit meaning that rationality is trying to push here is that Jordan Peterson doesn't agree with the existence of objective reality. At least that's how I'm interpreting what his point is.
Yeah, me too.
And it seems clear to me, at least even from the clips that he played, that Jordan Peterson's talking about what motivates humans to do things.
Yes, he's saying that there are two types of truth. There's truth that guides action, and there's scientific truth, which is divorced from context. The truth that guides action is context dependent. It has to be, otherwise it can't guide action. The scientific truth, the distance the moon is from the earth, is independent of any action. It's context independent, right?
Right.
So that's why.
But there has to be some motivational moral truth for why people would figure out what the answer to that, what the literal truth is.
Whenever you want to accomplish a goal, there is a strategy, and some strategies are going to be truer than other strategies because they are going to lead to better success. Like, what is a better word than like a more correct strategy? I mean, I
guess
true seems like a good word to me.
I don't agree, but
true enough is a good word. I know you hate it, but
it seems too much like that's too easy to abuse.
Yeah.
Like fake news, you know.
Rationality Rules is abusing it right now.
100-digit number in front of you, and it ends in a 1, and they say this number is prime, and what is more, it's the largest prime number any human being has ever consciously beheld, right? That is either true or false, and its truth or falsity has absolutely nothing to do with the ultimate survival of the species or your personal well-being.
I know, that's what you think. I understand that perfectly well, but I don't agree.
But
I love that laugh that he gives. I know, I understand. That's what you think. But I don't agree. Ha ha ha. The question is why he doesn't agree. Sam Harris is setting up a context independent scenario, and Jordan Peterson keeps trying to drag him in and say, listen, the context is important. You have to consider the context, otherwise it's not a moral claim.
Non-agreement hasn't...
I would say it's sufficiently true for all likely contexts that are to arise in the next while. The claim I'm making is that scientific truth is nested inside moral truth, and moral truth is the final adjudicator. And your claim...
See, he's saying the final adjudicator of the truth. Rationality Rules just thinks like scientific facts don't exist because they're nested inside metaphorical facts.
Is no, moral truth is nested inside scientific truth, and scientific truth is the final adjudicator.
And for a cherry on top,
Do you see the distinction there? Because that's in Sam Harris in The Moral Landscape is trying to say that that scientific truth adjudicates moral truth.
Right. Which I think you could make that argument. Well, not truth, but in terms of, I think there's an argument in terms of you could come up with some morality based on science. I don't know if anyone would follow it.
Yeah, a lot of people say, and I have some sympathy for this. I'm agnostic about which one is actually correct. A lot of people say that science and morality are just independent. They can't be separated. And the whole idea of trying to separate them is just a fool's errand. It's just a way to waste time.
Mm-hmm. I guess
just one more.
Sorry.
It seems like Jordan Peterson is talking about the human experience, and Sam Harris and Rationality Rules are talking about something divorced from human experience.
Yeah, science. It works.
Right, but
that's why
that's the problem. Right, but the problem. So that's why Peterson shouldn't use the word truth. It's because they're arguing about different things. They're not arguing about the same thing. So there's no progress being made.
Maybe he's trolling them.
For example,
I think you're simply deciding at the end of the day to say that any truths that led us down a path where we suffered unnecessarily or died weren't true.
Right. You have to choose what you mean by true. You have to. And I'm not accepting the same definition of truth that you operate under, and it's partly because I believe that Darwin trumps realism, let's say. I believe that pragmatism trumps realism.
You see, when Jordan says,
I'm not accepting the same definition of truth that you operate under,
and then declares that,
I believe that pragmatism trumps realism.
He is not merely saying that
the way you order those objective facts is subjective.
As already said, realism is the position that facts exist independent of our perception. It's got nothing to do with how we order facts. While pragmatism, or in this case more accurately Jordan's Darwinian truth, is the position that
if it doesn't serve life, it's not true.
And so, I wasn't contending the assertion that
the way you order those objective facts is subjective.
I was contending the assertion that
pragmatism trumps realism.
My central thrust was simply that Peterson's truth
doesn't supersede with respect to the truth claim, it supersedes with respect to considerations of behavior and policy.
I'll say that again. My central thrust was simply that Peterson's truth
doesn't
He didn't say it
supersede with
the first
respect to
time.
the truth
He's
claim.
lying now. He said, "I'll say that again," and he didn't even say it the first time.
Well, he said it through montage.
Oh, is that count?
But it just seems like it's exactly what I said. They're acting, or Rationality is acting like Jordan Peterson is asserting. Is asserting that his truth claim is some sort of tangible,
derivative,
physical entity that exists in nature. When Jordan Peterson is not saying that, he's just saying for our survival, our Darwinian survival is more important than the objective truth.
Correct.
So they're just talking about different things.
Yeah, very different things. Someday we'll talk about the same thing and just imagine how cool that'll be.
It supersedes with respect to considerations of behavior and policy.
Now, I grant that this topic is confusing, and that I should have done a better job of expressing my objection.
It's all
Adam
your fault.
really didn't address my concern at all. Instead, he applied the Adam-friended formula, but this time quote-mined Jordan as to strengthen his actual position. To conclude, I'm more than happy to engage with critics of my content, time permitting, of course. But
Yeah,
Adam does
time
not
permitting.
strike me as earnest. He strikes me as a troll.
I'm not earnest. Uh-oh.
Yep, there it is. We just all your huge long explanation of truth and all this stuff. That's all just, dishonest trolling, right?
Yeah, we're just here to troll.
No.
He's misrepresented countless people, especially anti-theists, conflated their views with nonsense, and worst of all, he's provided sincere Jordan Peterson fans with pig shit for ammunition.
I am here because that's just sad. That's totally sad. I am interested in these arguments. I am genuinely interested in what Jordan Peterson has to say, and I'm curious if he's right about his argument.
I'm honestly not convinced, Adam.
Our order does not deal in pig shit.
I feel a big fuck you coming on just because, like, I'm not here to convince you, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I could care less if you're convinced or not.
And also, I've noticed, at least in my personal life, that 9 out of 10 arguments that you ever have with anyone is because people are defining things differently and both people in the argument don't realize it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And I think that's important. That's part of why I think I stopped doing response videos to other YouTubers.
Right.
Because I think it's very easy to not to think you know what the person's saying and not understand it. And it's not your fault or even their fault. That's just how I guess inefficiency of words and communication is.
Yeah, no, I mean the Jordan Peterson Sam Harris podcast, the first podcast, they were miscommunicating, but they worked
Right.
through it. They totally worked through it, which I think ultimately was good. I mean, I don't know. I have nothing against the guy. It is disheartening that they've branded me with this like untouchable type thing. Like I'm not earnest enough to interact with. So, but I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because
Have you ad hommed him in your videos, responding to him?
not really. No, I haven't. I mean,
Think hard.
yeah, I don't. Maybe I have, but I mean, you would think he would pull him out in this video, right? I mean, why wouldn't he make me look as bad as possible?
I don't know. Because if you haven't, then I would say he's being really shitty. But I don't know if you have.
I don't think I have, to be honest with you.
Right.
I mean, I did the video that I did today. I did a pretty kick-ass intro where I played this song. It's by Hub. It goes two people moving further and further away from each other, and I was like made the video look like Rationality Rules and Cosmic Skeptic were breaking up. So it's a pretty
That's not an
fun.
ad-hom, though.
I know it's a hilarious intro, and I said in the beginning of the video, I was like, well, it seems like it's custom because Cosmic Skeptic made a video kind of calling out Rationality Rules, but he was super nice about it, but he made a clickbaity thumbnail and stuff. Well, the thumbnail wasn't as clickbaity. The title was clickbaity. It was like Rationality Rules Destroyed. Okay. Oh, it's good enough for them, right? When it's all fun and games. When they're doing it, it's okay. When I do it, I'm a troll. But
Right.
but he in the video he said, I want to apologize for my clickbait thumbnail, or my clickbait title, but I couldn't resist. So in my video, I said, it seems to be customary to apologize for your, entertaining intro. So let me dutifully apologize for my intro. But I mean, I don't think that I've been shitty with them, honestly, I mean, I went to my DMs today and I told you I have a DM that I tried to set up a live stream in March with him and Cosmic Skeptic. David Sloan Wilson, I've communicated with him via email recently. He says that he still wants to do a live stream with me. The only reason I haven't taken him up on it because I wanted an audience. And I mean, back in March, I didn't have any subscribers. So I was talking to Rationality Rules and Cosmic Skeptic because they're big YouTubers and this guy's a legitimate academic. They could have a conversation with a legitimate academic that's on the opposite side of their argument. But they totally ignored me. And now it's like, so I thought, well, I'm going to get my own audience. Watch this. So now that I'm in the same ballpark as you, like you understand, you get more opportunity once you get more subscribers. Right. I mean, it's pretty simple, really.
Now you're a threat.
Well, I don't know about that. I would, in all honesty, I would do a live stream with him. Like I did contemplate DMing him, but hey, what's up? Shannon's in the chat. We were contemplating whether or not Shannon was a double agent that was selling me out earlier, Shannon. So you got to mention.
Yeah, Shannon, are you selling friended secrets to rationality rules?
Yeah. Craig is in the chat too. I did a live stream with Craig. I'll live stream with anyone. Are you kidding? I did a live stream with Amy. Amy is a total Devin Tracy fangirl, AIU fangirl. We had the nicest stream. I mean, my fans were giving me a hard time that I didn't tear her to shreds, but I mean, it's difficult. One of the reasons why I like to do live streams is because it's difficult to get on a live stream and tear a person to shreds, because the moral intuitions take over. You're like, oh my God, this guy's actually pretty nice. So, I mean, Rutka Ali did a 5-hour response video to one of my videos, and I ended up going out to dinner with him. So, like, get on a live stream, talk to people. I've done 3 or 4 live streams with Shannon. Yeah, I'm not a troll. I don't. But the more I say that, I mean, I'm. you can't fight the narrative. You really can't fight the narrative. So.
Right. Anyhow, I'm Steve Woodford, or Rationality Rules, and as always, thank you kindly for the view, and an extra special thank you to my wonderful patrons and those of you who have donated via PayPal.
You should look up his. I think he makes like close to $2,000 a video. So.
Nice.
I mean, people are paying for this crap. I feel like they should get. feel like they should get their money's worth. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and Gur there, and an Arab guy.
Oh my God, he does, doesn't he? I think he turns the patrons into avatars, which is actually a kind of cool thing.
That's pretty clever. Pretty clever.
You should do that. Turn me in.
Do that.
I already have an avatar though.
Yeah, I told you, or no, I tweeted it out. Patreon's bugging me about setting up my tiers.
Shannon just said Adam isn't a troll, he's just annoying. Yes, exactly. I can take that. My laugh is annoying. I'm in my place now, please. She also said I haven't talked to him in ages, which I don't know if she's talking about me, or if she's talking about Rationality Rules. I saw you in Rationality Rules comment section, Shannon, when you were sucking up to the man. You were talking
Stirring the pot.
You were talking about the tweet that I retweeted so I could send some people to your live stream. No good deed is unpunished. I remember hearing that somewhere or other.
So I guess the takeaway is that Steve here is probably just I'm gonna say he's probably in some sort of communication breakdown with you and Jordan Peterson.
Yes.
And then gets suckered into the kind of clipping and all other shit that all YouTubers do when we're trying to prove someone wrong.
Yeah. I don't think some people have said that you're post hoc reasoning too, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's why you're here. You're supposed to catch my bad arguments. But when you come on and all you say is like, you're a Jordan Peterson fan club, you're not checking my arguments. Like, what are you doing here?
Right.
Like, check my arguments. If you want to give me a decent argument, and in Rationality Rules, I went through his comment section. I was just kind of looking around and reading the longer comments, because the longer comments tend to have arguments in them. And I mean, a lot of people are just saying, oh, this guy, I gave him a bunch of arguments and he didn't even acknowledge me. I read every single comment. If you actually had an argument, I would engage you, just like I did that Earth guy.
Right.
Like, there's an open question here that the anti-theists have answered. They've answered it. The world would be a better place without religion. I'm the one that wants to actually know if that's a factually correct assertion. That requires some work.
Yeah, and fuck you. I want to believe it's bad.
What do you mean?
No, I mean that's what they say.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. Right.
So let's talk.
So
Go ahead.
I was gonna say. So did you want to talk about Brett Kavanaugh?
Yeah, let's do it. I can only stay on for like another 10, 15 minutes. So just to let everyone know, yeah, what's your take?
Well, first of all, what did you say his name was before the stream?
I don't even remember.
you said like it's like
Cabernet.
Brett Kahn or something.
Yeah, Brett Kavanaugh.
Whatever. You said Adam said something wrong. Let's all point and laugh.
Yeah, go ahead. I like to be laughed at.
Well, here, you tell me your opinion on the situation first.
Oh man, there's no way to tell. And they kept. I listened to the whole hearing,
Mm-hmm.
and I kept waiting for someone to ask good questions. Like I wanted to know her relationship. Like the first thing police detectives want to learn is like, what was your relationship with this guy? Like in case there's a case of mistaken identity, they want to know, when did you first know it? When did you first learn his name? You don't know how many guys have been strung up from the Innocence Project, because when it's a true assault, when it's like you don't know the guy at all, then the first person that you perceive is that guy is going to be that guy forever.
Right.
So these cases of mistaken identities happen all the time. There are guys that have do you know about the Innocence Project where they exonerate these guys through DNA?
Yeah.
They find out the real rapist is really in jail somewhere, and this innocent guy's like languishing in jail because she picked him out of a lineup, and as soon as she fixated on that was the guy. The way the mind works, and I read this. I gotta stop saying that. People hate when I say that. Anyway, the way the mind works is the mind catalogs in a list. It's like a list. It's like blue eyes, medium height. And then when you want to remember the person, your mind pulls up this list and generates it in your imagination. So it's memory is the worst. Totally fail.
You're in, because I didn't watch the hearing at all, so I have no idea. But I believe I read in an article a while ago that she claims that she told her psychiatrist or her husband or something that it was Brett that assaulted her before he was nominated for Supreme Court.
Yes. Yeah.
But they didn't talk about that in what you're saying in the hearing?
They don't ask her the thing. Like, we don't know if she knew, if like, I kept wondering, did she go to school with him? Like she went swimming at this country club where he worked. And I mean, I don't know if he was just some rando that worked there, or she like paid attention to him. I mean, she mentioned,
did they know each other beforehand?
Yeah. Like, you went to school with people, right? And you're like, you're not going to get the people that you went to school with mixed up with someone else, right? But if someone did what she said, and you watched enough of the clips to know, like, she said she got pushed in a room and
I know what her claim is.
It's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing.
Yes.
But if she never saw this guy before, and then figured out after the fact who it was, there is some potential that she figured out it was a different guy, right?
Right.
And
then
be
more her claim would be far more valid if she had known him before.
Yes. And I kept saying, why aren't you asking her this? Why aren't you asking her this? I mean, I understand that this is just a totally messed up situation. Like, why is this happening here and now? Like, why is this? I mean, this is what happens in a private interrogation room, not in front of the nation. It's where our country is going. It's scary a bit.
But are you think that he did it or didn't do it, or you don't know?
I believe both of them at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Well, first of all, I don't believe anything. Like, there's not enough information to really know. Like,
Right.
I think something happened to her, and I think chances are it was. Well, I don't know if it. I guess I don't know if it was him or not. What do you think?
A lot of people on Twitter were very upset with what I had to say.
Oh, really? You got busted, huh? Maybe I should.
Because,
maybe we
well,
should.
you know, I have a lot
The
of
stream's
Republican,
over. Goodbye, everybody.
I have a lot of Republican followers.
Yeah.
And
Everyone
well, it's
thinks
funny 'cause
we're big time right wingers. It's crazy. I'm like,
I never actually said whether I think he did it or not. I don't think I've ever said that publicly because I don't know. I have no idea. I heard her claim and then I heard him deny it. And I don't know. And then I heard that he had a calendar, which supposedly says he wasn't there, but then someone said the calendar did say that he was there. It all sounds like who the fuck knows at this point. So
well,
I'm in
the
the
guy,
camp of
guy is not coming forward though. The guy that was some guy was supposedly in the room, right?
Right. Yeah. His friend,
right,
who she said jumped on the bed or whatever.
Right.
And I do think it is to me a little telling that some of his answers, like I read a transcript of under oath, were not super direct. And some of and like it wasn't like I'm trying to remember what exactly it was, but whatever. Anyway, my point is I don't really know whether he did it or not. But what I found more interesting of a point was that there's all these people I see on Twitter because I'm on the anti-SJW side, so I get all the right wing bubble on my Twitter feed, and I see all these people that are just so outraged over what's happening to him and at the Democrats for doing this. And my point, which was funny because I said this point, and then Eric Weinstein made the literal exact same point, which was that when you have a situation where the Republicans prevented Obama from getting a Supreme Court nomination that he should have got because he wasn't a lame duck president.
I know.
Even they kept saying that he was a lame duck president, but that's not. Talk about redefining a word.
They cheated.
Lame duck only means if you didn't get reelected, which Obama couldn't get reelected, so that doesn't make any sense. But anyway,
yeah,
and he did get reelected a second time.
They did cheat Obama. I'm in total agreement with you.
Right.
Like they openly cheat. They said they were going to cheat him.
Right. They openly screwed Obama and the Democrats out of a Supreme Court pick. So my point was they've dragged the fight into a dark place by doing that.
Yeah.
And if you think the Democrats aren't going to go through every single person with the finest tooth comb possible and also respond in kind, then you're naive.
Yeah.
And you're delusional. And that's why I don't think the people that are so outraged about this, they weren't outraged that the Supreme Court pick was stolen from the Democrats.
Yeah.
And that was my point, was that if you drag people into the filth and muck, you can't get upset when they throw the filth and muck back at you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great point. I mean, I'm terrified for where the country is going because you're basically saying we're just in tit for tat political warfare.
Right.
And who is going to end it? Like, who's going to be the bigger person? Like, these things don't end until someone's the bigger person, right?
Right. But the problem is both sides will say, oh, we've been the bigger person, and then they don't reciprocate. So we're not going to bother.
It's hard.
That's what they'll both say.
So what was the logic behind not giving Obama his Supreme Court? I mean, that seemed just out of political power.
Their logic was, it's Obama's last year in office, so somehow that means that we should wait till the next election.
They did it because they could, not because it was payback.
Right.
What you're saying now is we're in the dark place because now it's always going to be about payback.
Right. Well, I'm saying it's because, as you said, they did that because they could. There was no like that's happened before in the past, where the same situation where it's been a president's like last term and the opposition party doesn't let him choose a Supreme Court candidate. That's
So-
happened before, but it happened like the last time it happened before this was like, I don't know, like 60 or 70 years ago.
Right.
It happened too far back for them.
Back during
sort
the
of
Civil
retribution.
War.
Yeah, like it happened too far away for them to claim that this was retribution for the Democrats doing it to them, 100 years ago.
No, I understand. Yeah, no, I'm
Right.
I'm the one saying that they did it just because they could, and now we're
Right.
in
No, yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah.
So Cameron in the chat is saying that it's about abortion. Is that true? Are they going to overturn Roe v. Wade?
I'm sure that definitely has a lot to do with it because they're afraid that he is going to overturn Roe v. Wade.
And none of that has come up in the hearing. Do we know? Do you know anything about this guy?
It came up. It came up in the first hearing when they were talking to Kavanaugh.
Part of the problem that I have is like the media is so just not doing any kind of journalism when they come out and say this guy is, right of Hitler. I'm just like, how can I? Like this guy could be a complete moderate conservative, and they would paint him as some crazy person that was going to get rid of Roe v. Wade. So I don't know what to believe.
It's true. The media does a terrible job because they never explain anything. They just tell you what they want you to believe.
Exactly.
But the thing with Kavanaugh was that he was a judge. There was a case recently where, I don't know if you remember, it was like half a year ago or something. There was some illegal immigrant who was like 17 or 18, and she was in one of these detention centers that were being, processed, whether she's going to stay or go back. And she wanted to get an abortion. And they wouldn't let her leave the detention facility to get an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
And Brett Kavanaugh was the judge in that case. And I believe he ruled that she couldn't leave the facility to get an abortion. And so
wow, that's
a lot
scary.
of people, right. So you hear that and you say, that sounds terrible. And the liberals say, okay, he's acting against abortion. But the problem with all these judges is that, he doesn't say that in his ruling. He quotes some specific law, that cites why she shouldn't be able to do whatever she's doing. And a lot of times it doesn't directly address the moral claim one side or the other is making.
Yeah.
So then it's kind of this guessing game as to, well, is the judge just going by rule of law, or is he looking for a law that supports his moral claim?
Yeah. And since we don't have any journalists these days who are digging those answers out, we're just forced to, they just paint it in whatever light they want to. Yeah, it's a terrible, terrible situation. I mean, that's an awful situation because, the girl was probably raped by some coyote or something. So, that's like the nightmare situation.
Yeah. It does seem really gross because she wasn't asking the U.S. government to pay for it. And she wasn't even asking them for transportation. She just wanted to be able to leave the facility to do it.
Yeah.
So it seems the abortion thing seems kind of gross to me in the first place. Just, I don't know.
Yeah. I've always been pro-choice, but I got to admit, I'm softening up on the pro-life side.
Really?
Well, the whole idea of, obviously the girl who's screwed by a coyote as she's being trafficked into the United States, get that girl an abortion, for goodness sake. Jeez. But I don't know. I'm thinking in terms of, I don't know if it's good for society. I don't know if the abortion on demand thing has been good for society, to be honest.
Well, here's the problem I have is that it's hard to make a straight moral claim because we don't know what happens when you die and you don't know if people have souls and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So no one knows.
Well,
what
I
happens.
do. I'm the atheist here. Goddamn it. It's like,
right.
Guess what?
Right.
You
so
don't.
No one knows what. Right.
No one but
no
me.
one knows what happens with the aborted fetuses, and it's not surprising that a lot of the people that are against it have to be baptized to get salvation.
Mm-hmm.
That's not we were talking about Jordan Peterson and the moral claim with the moral truths there,
right?
Motivating the what someone goes after. But in terms of what you said, is it better for society? I mean, I don't know if it's been debunked, but if you read Freakonomics, one of the few books I have read.
I know. Holy cow, you're going to
You know,
actually recommend a book. Yeah, I know the Freakonomics argument. Go ahead and lay it
yeah,
out.
like
So
his argument is that abortion totally solved the super crime wave that was supposed to happen in the 90s that was predicted and didn't happen. And even if that's not 100% true, there is a lot to it that, when I hear the same people, a lot of the anti-SJW skeptics on YouTube, even the alt-right people who complain about, black crime, what do they always point to? They say the number one factor when you look at the data for someone failing in being a criminal or doing drugs is if they have a single parent.
totally. Yep.
So if you look at that number, I don't think you can make a pragmatic argument that it's not better for society if people who are single mothers that can't raise a child have the ability to get an abortion, because statistically that child doesn't have a good future in terms of helping society by the statistics.
But you're just a bleeding heart liberal, though. You'd be like, have the baby and just give them welfare. Either way, it's
no,
bad.
I'm not in favor of that either. I'm in favor of I'm totally pro-choice.
Yeah.
Because of that, because from a totally societally pragmatic position
Argument.
that I think it's better for society.
Well, I had actually forgotten about that argument. So now you shored me up a bit on my pro-choice stance, just for pragmatic reasons. I know that's going to disappoint people because I know I have a lot of fans that are pro-life, and I understand that position. But I mean,
well, they're making a moral claim.
Yeah. I mean, don't you? There is a relationship though between the low birth rates, like the fact that we're having to do a lot of immigration is because of that. So we shouldn't dive too deep into that.
Is that from abortion though? I don't think that's from abortion. I think it's from people just not having kids.
Right. Yeah, true. But some have to slip through the cracks if abortion's not legal, right?
Yeah, so the problem is that all people complain about immigration, without abortion, you're going to have a lot more non-white kids, which they don't want anyway.
I know. We're in a lose-lose situation here.
Exactly.
Read the super chats.
Kohath for $5. Question: if you wanted to create a new party, what would it be different from DMC and Republican?
That's a good question. Well, they'd have to be enlightened centrists, first of all.
Right. There you go. But it's hard to organize a party around that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're gonna have too many differing views.
We'll have to punt on. We'll have to think this one over. Go ahead if you have an idea.
Well, it's kind of too bad that Cenk Uygur, became so SJW, because wasn't his original position just we need to get money out of politics?
Yeah.
Because I think that would be a good unifying identity to rally behind in terms of trying to fix.
In that Freakonomics book, they debunk the money out of politics thing too, right? You remember that part?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
They in the Freakonomics book also, in addition to the abortion being good, and Popog for $2 says anti-choice, mandatory abortions for all. I love it. I love your moxie there.
Get on board with that.
But in Freakonomics, they say that the money in politics thing is a fool's errand because it's the likability of the candidate that's important, and the candidate that's more likable raises more money. So it's not a causal connection; it's a correlation without a causation.
Wait a minute, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about who gets elected in terms of spending money on campaigns. I'm talking about in terms of lobbyists paying candidates off.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
That's a different issue. It's a totally different issue.
Yeah, that's what I don't care about individual people writing checks to whoever politician they want.
Right.
I don't think anyone really cares about that.
You don't want the corporations coming in and saying, hey, we want this tax break. Here, work it into the law.
Right.
And we'll give you this money for your campaign. For your war chest.
Because
they all want big war chests.
Because the whole point, and the one that everyone, I'm assuming, agrees on, is that the politicians should be acting within what they believe will help the country.
Oh,
That's why you vote for them, because they're supposed to, they're saying this is what I think will help the country, and then you vote for them because they're supposed to do that. But that's not what happens. It's because they say that, but then they get paid by some fuckface somewhere to believe something or to vote some way or one way or another.
yeah.
And I'm assuming both Democrats and Republicans could get on board with the we don't want lobbyists paying our politicians off.
Well, except for the politicians that are getting paid off, because they're really not going to go for that.
Well, obviously, they're not going. That's the problem. Though a lot of the payoff it doesn't go to them. It goes to their reelection campaign. So it's not like they're not getting.
You don't think they figured out a way to get it into their bank account? I don't know. That's a little.
No, I'm sure they have, but I'm saying a lot of it is the money isn't. It's not. They're not getting paid off in terms of money. They're getting paid off in terms of retention of their power.
Yeah.
And I think if you made it illegal for lobbyists and other organizations to pay politicians, you would help. You wouldn't fix, but you would definitely help the problem. You'd have more. You'd make it at least. You'd increase the chance from 0 to 1% that honest people could get into politics and succeed.
First, before we do this, and I think what you're proposing is a great idea, but I think that if we genetically engineer a Pegasus, we'll have more luck, and that would be more fun to like ride around on the genetically. I'm just saying it would be easier. You know,
right.
You know who votes for this stuff? Oh my God, we're so screwed.
I wonder if there's some socialist liberal European country out there somewhere that has only public fundings allowed for campaigns.
Yeah, they talk about that on Young Turks like back in the day? I mean, I watched Young Turks back in the day, but
I never watched Young Turks.
But, oh, you never did, really? Huh.
No, never.
God Howard.
God Howard for $5.
That's your cue, boy.
Shank isn't against money in politics. He's against corporate money in politics because he assumes the corporation's donating favorably towards Republicans.
Yeah, he assumes.
Okay, I mean, if
he assumes correctly, that might be the only place we agree now.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I don't agree with that. I mean, I think there should be no money for either side because I just want politicians to be motivated by at least what they think will help the country. That's the bare minimum I want.
It's got to be socially engineered, though. I think this is where I think Jonathan Haidt is right on the money about. I mean, Jonathan Haidt is saying we're trying to change human nature, and human nature is not going to change. Where we have the most ability to move human nature is at the institutional level, and we just need to design better institutions. Like one of the reasons why America is great is because our founding fathers designed a system that is just amazing. Mm-hmm. We're lucky to have inherited that system.
Yeah, that's why I get so, pissed off when people complain about. They don't complain. They say that the founding fathers were all terrible because they owned slaves. Where it's like that really shows you the interesting duality of the human mind in that. Like, it's a literal miracle that George Washington didn't just name himself king.
Totally. They wanted him to.
And he totally could have. Yeah. And it's so, like, and people don't understand how fucking crazy that was. Yeah. Because everyone else at that time period was a king. There was no democracies running around.
Do you think he did it just to be like a nonconformist? You think he did it just to be like, watch this will freak him out?
No, I think the founding fathers legitimately believed in this idea of a democracy. And I don't think people appreciate how, because, as you said, as you talked about, it would be easier to genetically engineer a Pegasus and ride it.
Totally. Yeah.
But you would also say it would be easier to genetically engineer a Pegasus and ride it than it is for the founding fathers to do what they did.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, it practically was the same thing.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a literal miracle that America was founded the way it was.
Yeah, he talks about this, and I've gotten kind of hooked on his podcast too. And now I can't remember his name. The guy that wrote Suicide of the West. He talks about how much effort it really takes to keep this going, and that how we're really slipping back into the old ways. He uses a quote from Godfather too. I need to clip it out and put it on my channel just because it's such a great quote. But he uses a quote from Godfather the book to make the point. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Jonah Goldberg, that's his name.
Isn't he's really right wing though, isn't he?
Yeah, that's why I was telling you. I was like, I got to get Sitch to read this book because the first half of the book I'm completely on board with, but the second half of the book I'm kind of like, oh wow, this is kind of going like in like a I hate poor people type direction, or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't claim to have all the answers. But when I do latch onto an answer, I tend to latch onto it pretty difficultly or pretty stubbornly. So I think trying to look for the right answers is the key. So.
There's a funny PragerU video I just happened to stumble upon. I think it was an advertisement in a video.
That's funny.
And it was actually, yeah. It's funny because they do ads. It's just like their whole video. It's just a
totally. I watch them sometimes if they're good. I'm like, okay.
And it was the one with Dennis Prager talking about changing the education system in America.
Right.
And at first, like for like the first 95% of the video, you're like, oh, I agree with everything he's saying. And then at that last little part, he's talking about what he's going to cut out. And I think he's like, and we need to cut out talking about like climate change in the public schools. And I'm like, what? The fuck is he talking about? And he said something else crazy. Like he might have said evolution or something like absurd, like right at the end. And I was just like, oh my God, he ruined it. He was so close and he ruined it.
That is the problem with being a centrist. It really is because nobody caters to all your, like if you're looking for truth in what you want to believe, then it's very difficult. It's very difficult because you have to have a mix of positions.
Right.
You can't be ideologically consistent by any means.
Well, that's what I always see this problem with the SJWs is that in the intersectional feminists and the critical race theorists is that they've arbitrarily decided I'm going to look at the world through this one singular lens and focus and force everything through it. Yeah. And it's like, that's an absurd way to look at the world.
But don't you think some people just have one lens? Like that's all there. Like that's really just a feature of human nature, that we are the weird ones that look like, why would you look through all these different lenses? It makes things so confusing.
Yeah, I think it's natural for people to look through the world at one lens, but I think everyone has the capability to understand that that's not the way to get the most truth claims out of your objective reality that apparently doesn't exist.
Kohath has a super chat that's all you, and I agree 100%.
Kohath for $5 or for $4.99 actually couldn't give us that extra penny. I'm just kidding.
You bastard.
Politicians should stop subsidizing corn and soybeans, and we should all boycott any product that has corn syrup or soybeans. I don't disagree with that because
I agree with
there's a lot
syrup.
of
like get corn syrup out of your diet. Yes. It's the worst.
Corn syrup
might as well drink
super
rat
bad
poison. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
It's not that bad, but it's close.
I like soy milk, which makes me feel like a real soy boy, but I like the taste of it.
Have you tried oat milk?
I haven't tried oat milk. You were saying I got to try
a lot
oat
better.
Milk. Yeah.
You got to try
almond milk too. So okay,
soy isn't good for you either.
We've gone longer than I actually said that I could go. So let's wrap it up.
Okay.
Let's
we'll wrap it up.
Rationality Rule. Well, you can stay on the line. I'll say a quick goodbye to you. But if Rationality Rules wants to do a live stream, totally open to doing a live stream. If Shannon Q wants to moderate, totally up her profile. We'll do it on Shannon Q's channel. So it's in a
there
neutral.
You go.
It's in a neutral.
There you go.
I don't want to go. I don't want to bring you guys to a Jordan Peterson safe space. Okay. I know it could be dangerous there for you. So thanks for the super chats, guys. You've all been totally amazing, and I'll end it here. Take care, everyone.